Alrighty. Good morning, class. It is I, of course, your professor, Professor Athena. Let's take some roll call today. We have that timestamp guy, thank you for showing up to class. We have David who says, I will not take my meds. Well, we'll see about that. We have Annabelle, we have Horiami, we have a Portuguese, we have Jack, we have Baya, we have Doro, we have DonDoe. I read the title as Torturing You in Abnormal Psych. Well, school can be like that for some people, but I'm going to try to make it fun for you all. If you guys behave, please don't make me get my ruler out. And we're going to have a fun day. Hello, Batsy. Hello, Lolly. Hello, Anglias. Hello, Sesh. Hello, Gabriella. Hello, Genso. Been a while. Hello, Wacky. Can I go to the bathroom? Well, I don't know. Can you? The correct response is may I. And that's a psychology lesson for you called gaslighting. But no. Hello, everybody. I'm going to be your teacher today, Professor Athena, for abnormal psychology. We have a lot to learn today. You know, I was, unironically, when I was in... What's up, Yuki? Thank you for showing up to class. When I was in... community college, I was going to major in either Homeland Security, that was before I knew the government was bad, or abnormal psychology. And well, I'm a college dropout, so I didn't complete that. However, I think I'm good enough to educate you in psychology. What's up, Ferrari and Skepta? Hope you all are well. I won't take the meds even if you pinch my nose. You're going to take them and you're going to like them. You will take the Athena pill. Miss Athena, somebody stole my gum. Well, that's good because there's no gum allowed in class. This is very important. So we're honestly getting right into this. I have a lot to teach you guys about today. The math one, you know, it was like, oh, it was just kind of baby stuff, you know, more of a role play. But I'm very serious about this. Our goals for today, everybody, is what is psych and abnormal psychology? We're going to define those terms. There will be a test at the end, by the way. What is the DSM-5 and the DSM? We're going to learn about disorders in the DSM-5. That's probably going to take like an hour and a half, lol. It's going to be the main bulk of our session, of our psychological session today. We're going to understand the difference between a psychologist, a psychiatrist, and a therapist. I thought we'll go over some basic psych stuff like the id, ego, and super ego, and then we're going to learn about types of medications and how they can be used in psychology. Why does that brain have a tail? That is actually the brain stem, Roland, and we have it in our brain. It's the brain stem. And what's a viewer? I'm dropping out. This is going to be a very, what shall I say? I don't want to say not fun, but this will be a very educational stream, unlike the math. So I hope you all have a great time today, and let's say a quick prayer, shall we? And remember, if you disbehave, I unironically have my flute and my roller. I will get it out. What's up, Joel? What's up, Scary? You'll teach, can I use the bathroom? Okay, number one, in my class, you may not say, can I use the bathroom? You may say, may I use the bathroom? I don't know if you can use the bathroom or not. Are you a little baby who pees in their diaper? I'm not sure. So I think you should say, may I, like a good student. This is a college level class. I am Professor Athena. What's up, Janoi? What's up, Vanilla? I'm a good boy. Okay, good. That's what I like to hear. Fewer, not less, Professor Athlete, probably. What's up, platformer? Okay, anyway, let's say a quick prayer and then we'll get into it. In the name of the Father and of the... This is a Christian classroom, by the way. In the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord, thank you for blessing me with this day, with people showing up to my stream. Thank you for providing us with food, water, and shelter. We rebuke any and all demons by the blood of your Son, Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, trying to harm us mentally, physically, or spiritually. And we ask you to please forgive us our sins, lead us not into temptation, deliver us from evil, and help us grow in your love and understanding, O Lord. Amen. And Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. There will be a test at the end. Professor Athena, didn't we have homework? You didn't, but I am going to assign you homework tonight because you were so nice enough to share that you wanted homework. Okay, there's not going to be any music, but this is honestly just going to be a learning, unironic learning stream, so I hope you guys have a nice time. If you have any questions, please let me know. Are you more of a Freudian? I've been asked this question, and unironically, I do believe in psychoanalytics, which is, you know, you can say what you want about Freud. I know, 3 parentheses, whatever, but he did do some things that helped improve the psychological field of study, and then Jung, of course, and everybody, but obviously we have right here the id, ego, superego. We're going to be talking a little bit about that. Unironic learning, my favorite kind of learning. But there is some things I think Freud got right, and a lot of things he got wrong. Let's remember the infamous eel incident, and some of his crazy sex stuff, but some of it was true. It's not perfect, but nothing is. So true. I don't believe in the entire field of psychology. Oh. Okay, well, so that's a little on optical. But yes, you can say whatever you want about psych, but at the end of the day, I wanted to do it to help people. You're going to forget everything by tomorrow, not if I can drill it in your head. You know, we'll learn about lobotomies. We'll learn about lobotomies. Maybe I'll have to actually drill this knowledge into your guys' head. What's up, squirrel? What's up, everybody? All right, we're getting straight into this, guys. Do you believe that women have dingling envy? There's a lot more to that than what it seems, Roland, but the whole quote-unquote daddy issues things does stem from Freudian psychology, and we'll get to that. Okay, the first thing we're going to learn is, what is psychology? Now, you can take notes if you want. There's going to be a pop quiz at the end. Now, there are many types of psychology. The type of psychology we are going to be performing today is abnormal psychology, which was the one I was going to major in before I realized college was a scam, and it was indoctrination center, and I dropped out. So, psychology, when we get down to the nitty-gritty, is basically just the scientific study of the mind and behavior. A lot of the brain, more so in a mental aspect. And it says right here that psychology includes the study of conscious and unconscious phenomenon, meaning, well, we'll talk about that later, including feelings and thoughts. It is an academic discipline of immense scope, crossing the boundaries between the natural and social science. Psychologists seek an understanding of the emergent properties of the brain, linking the discipline to neuroscience. As social scientists, psychologists aim to understand the behavior of individuals and groups. Psi is a Greek letter which is commonly associated with the science of psychology. So that is what psychology is in a nutshell. And abnormal psychology, maybe if you're you know a thing or two about English, you might know what abnormal is. It means something that's different from the norm, and when it's related to psychology, abnormal psych is basically the study of mental disorders and, you know, some cuckoo wacky people like myself and you guys in the best way possible. When did you first become red-pilled? This is such a normie answered, but 2016. I hope Athena teaches us how to perform lobotomies. We'll definitely get to that. Athena's advanced class is psychological manipulation. Oh, we'll get to all that. Don't you worry. It's funny that IQ research, which is probably the most coped about field of psychology, is by far the most rigorous field. IQ does have a lot of variables to it that kind of gets stuff wrong, but I do think IQ is very interesting. Professor, has anyone told you that you have a twitchy eye? Is that a psychiatric disorder? That is not a psychiatric disorder. That is more of a physical disorder, but I think it makes me quirky, so I hope you don't mind. I hope you don't, please don't judge your teacher or I'll report you for ableism. Athy reads 5 Wikipedia articles and is now an expert. Hey, excuse me. I was the one who took the classes, okay? Unironic classes in college. I know what I'm talking about. So that is what psych and abnormal psych is. Now, we're going to learn about the DSM-5. Where did you get that cool rotating brain? Oh, I got it in my collection of my my students that passed away from when I was performing lobotomies on them. Now we're going to learn about what the DSM-5 is. And honestly, the DSM-5 is, I would say, everything you need to know if you're going to get into the abnormal psychology field. It literally tells you, you know, what mental disorders there are. How do I know if I'm suffering from a mental disorder? Causes, symptoms, effects, types of treatment. Honestly, super good book. It's been controversial over the years because, as it says, there's been 5, you know, quote unquote books of it, and over the years they've taken out some things. Maybe you know a few. One of the most recent ones, which I actually think is interesting, is they've taken out Asperger's syndrome in the DSM-5 and have just labeled it autism. Which, I mean, I am autistic, but it kind of feels good to have a little extra special quirky diagnosis of Asperger's, but we'll all get to that. I studied psychology in college for years, too, before also dropping out. This is a refresher to me. Well, I'm glad. Psych Athena performed lobotomies, new dictator lore. Of course, I have to make sure their brains are not filled with demons. You know, we'll get into that real quick, actually. In the olden days, psychologists would drill holes in people's head because they thought, well, first they thought it would get the demons out. But second of all, they thought that, like, the mental illness would would literally, like, go out of your brain if they drilled a hole in it. So, needless to say, that did not work, and it killed a lot of people or left them brain dead. But we've evolved a lot since then. Oh, yes, the good old days. We still have Asperger's in England based. I still call myself somebody with Asperger's. Even though it's not in the DSM-5 anymore. Tribals did that. Tribal psychologists. All right. So I actually have the DSM-5 over here, but I'm going to read to you guys what it is. The DSM-5, or the 5th edition, stands for the Diagnosis and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorder. Not physical disorders. This is just a lot of stuff that's wrong with your brain. And we'll go, IRL, people have unironically asked me if I was an autist. Angela says I have autism, but it's the high functioning variation. If you're high functioning, that's basically just Asperger's syndrome. So if you were diagnosed with autism, but they said it was high function in autism, that's just the word they say now. They don't want to say Asperger's syndrome because it was invented by a Nazi scientist. But I mean, cars were invented by Nazi scientists. Fanta was invented by Nazi scientists, and we still use them. So, you know, who really cares? I'm still going to say I have Asperger's because it describes me more. Which means there's a difference between my diagnosis and that of somebody that, okay. But yes, when at the end of the day, higher functioning means you're more independent and, you know, you can talk and you can understand a little bit more. But autism is a very complicated subject, and we'll get into it one day. But we'll learn about it in the DSM-5. But now we're going to be learning about the DSM, which includes diagnosis. Yeah, it basically is a whole thing about mental disorders. And real quick, we're going to get into, most of the stream is just going to be about reading the DSM-5. We're going to talk about the difference between a psychologist, and a therapist, because I don't really like therapist. You know what I mean? It's like the same thing, almost the same thing as a counselor. On my tier of epicness, we have number 1 being the psychiatrist, number 1 being the psychologist, a big power gap, and then therapist, and then counselor. If you're struggling with anything, please do not go to a school counselor. That's the last thing you want to do. Do you have a book for this, IRL? I do not. They cost like $100. So high functioning is Asperger's. Asperger's is always high functioning, but not all high functioning is Asperger's. I'll see if I can get the DSM 4 or 3, I believe it was in, and see if we can find the criteria for that. Do you see a therapist? I don't see a therapist anymore, but I used to see a psychologist and a psychiatrist. Now, let's learn about those definitions, class, shall we? Okay. Psychologist must have an advanced degree in psychology. They may do research or therapy. They diagnose disorders or problems in their patients or clients. So, a psychologist, unlike a therapist or counselor, has the authority to say, bro, you have schizophrenia or something, okay? Unlike a therapist or a counselor. Therapists and counselors are just like, how does that make you feel? Well, you know, you could do this to maybe help, but a psychologist is like, yeah, bro, you have schizophrenia, or something like that. And they determine appropriate treatments based on clinical diagnoses or observations. So a psychologist might say, oh, you can go to the psychiatrist to get medication, which we're going to read more about, or you can go to the therapist to get, just advice, basically. Whereas therapist can include marriage counselors, life coaches, social workers, that type of bunch, which they can't do any diagnosis. All they can do is help them with their feelings and provide support. So, therapist, kind of cringe, but the psychologist and the psychiatrist is like the psychologist. However, the psychiatrist provides you with the medication to deal with your mental disorders, almost always medication. And if you need a higher dose or your medicine's not working, you're going to go back to the psychiatrist, not the psychologist for that, okay? Sociopathy is the cool man's autism. We'll get to that. I'm going to stop seeing my therapist who's trying to brainwash me. What do you mean? What's going on? $100 bug, that's some student loan debt. I have the PDF right here. You can download the PDF for free. Can I download a DSM? You can download the DSM-5. Hopefully I'm not going to go to jail for saying that, but I have the DSM-5, which you can download yourself. We're going to be looking at that soon. Is self-diagnosis a sin? It's... I wouldn't say it's a sin, however, it sucks because USA you have to pay like tons of money just to get a diagnosis. But I would say you can say I would take some tests, look at the DSM. If you think you fit the criteria, say I think I have, but don't say I am because you're not officially diagnosed. I don't know why I'm here. This is useless to me. Well, maybe we'll learn if you have a mental disorder. Okay. So, we learned basically everything. We're going to go to the DSM-5 now. This is going to be our biggest time spender this stream. So I'm going to go to the DSM-5 right now. Let me pull it up. You know I'm a boomer teacher, so it's going to take a little while. Here we go. Okay. Now, class, what I have before me is the DSM-5. A whole book with 992 pages. Ah, yes. Informed self-diagnosis is a stepping stone, then you need to seek a diagnosis. I agree. Half my meetings is just my therapist trying to unred pill me. I'll be your red pilled therapist. You can talk to me, bro. All right. So here are the sections we're gonna go over. What's up, 8legs? What do you need? What's going on? I just want to get help for whatever personality disorder I have. All right, we're gonna be getting to all those. So prefix, introduction, blah blah blah. Now section 2. Section 2 is where things are gonna get real fun. This is my favorite type of stuff. Diagnostic criteria and codes. We have the neurodevelopmental disorders, which are things like autism, schizophrenia spectrum, and other psychotic disorders, bipolar and related disorders, depressive disorders, anxiety disorders, obsessive compulsive and related disorders, trauma and stressor related disorders like PTSD, dissociative disorders, DID, somatic symptom and related disorder, insomnia. Oh, I forgot, I didn't even state what any of these could be. Depressive, suicide, stuff like that, anxiety, SAD, bipolar 1, bipolar 2, schizophrenia, spectrum, could also go into, what's the word? What's the word? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, what is the word? Oh, psychopath, and sociopath. Feeding and eating disorders, anorexia, etc. Elimination disorders, sleep-wake disorders, sexual dysfunctions, and gender dysphoria. Those are fun ones. Didn't they remove gender dysphoria from the DSM-5 as a mental disorder? Nope, it's right here on page 451. Gender dysphoria is a mental illness, whether you'd like to say so or not. It is in my psychology book. Disruptive impulse control and conduct disorders, substance-related and addictive disorders, if you're an alcoholic or something, neurocognitive disorders, personality disorders, narcissism, paraphilic disorders. This is also a fun one. These are the feet fetishist people. Other mental disorders, and then we have stuff that we're not really going to get into. What's up, 1.5 horns? I'm glad you know what? It makes me so happy that you think this is cool. I love learning about psychology. And hopefully you guys can see it good enough. Deirdre's really invented an anxiety disorder called SAD. SAD stands for social anxiety disorder. A lot of people with Asperger's have it. Did they remove it, or was it homosexuality as a mental disorder that was removed? Yeah, homosexuality as a mental disorder was removed. However, gender dysphoria is still in the DSM-5. Let's I'm just telling you the straight facts. I'm not saying my opinion on it. Let's get right into it. VTubers don't usually do something like this for stream. Well, I mean, I I like teaching you guys stuff. I did a math stream recently, and I thought it would be fun too. I was like, oh, I was going to be a psychiatrist, so I'll have to read this for you guys, and we can figure out what you have. Unfortunately, I did not get my degree, so I can't officially diagnose you, but it may be fun just to look at it. So, first thing we're going to do is go to page 31. Oop, that's 21. All right. Now it's gonna list, and then we'll get into the big part. It's gonna list what disorders fall under those. Feet are not a paraphilia, by the way, Carrie. It sounds like you're coping, right? Sounds like you're coping, Carrie. I self-diagnosed myself as being cool. Yeah, I self-diagnosed you guys as being cool too. Sweet, now I can find out what's wrong with me. Says right here, neurocognitive disorders like Alzheimer's disease, traumatic brain injury, which is unironically sad. Vascular cognitive disorders, stuff like that. Then we go into personality disorder, and Yes, there are clusters of personality disorders, which we are going to learn here. There's cluster A, cluster B, and cluster C. Now, cluster A, I'd like to call the schizoid disorders. Let me actually make this a little bit bigger for you guys. Let me make it a little bigger for my students with bad eyesight. There we go. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! That scared the poop out of me. That's really scared the poop out of me. Oh my good. Oh my goodness gracious! That was very scary. That was scary. I'm sorry. Thank you, Max. Thank you for coming to class, Professor Athena. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. The doc is in. All right, here we go. Cluster A, we have paranoid personality disorder, schizoid personality disorder, and schizotypical personality disorder, which are actually two. There's 2 types of schizophrenia. Can you see better now, Roland? Bing chilling. Now, cluster B is the antisocial personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, histrionic, and narcissist. I call these type of people are the kind of this one. This is sad. I can say this, okay? I call cluster A the most crazy. Cluster B we're getting up there. The cluster C you're whatever. And then cluster C is the pretty chill one. Cluster A, aka base cluster. Oh, by the way, if you're here, if you're like an actual psychology student, you probably don't want to turn into this stream. This is just for people that want to get a little intro to abnormal psych. I'm just trying to have fun and help them with some stuff. And then cluster C is like the normie disorders. Of course, we have avoidant, dependent, and obsessive compulsive. And then we do have some other personality disorder, like personality change due to another mental condition, unspecified. Now, I'm not sure if we're going to get into these today because this is a Christian stream. No, I want to help you all. Nothing is cringe. If you're struggling, if you're unironically struggling with things, I'm here to help you. I personally suffer from, let's see. We do. Whoa! Thank you so much, Vinilizer. I don't know what P50 is, but thank you so much. I really appreciate you, and thank you so much for being here, and I hope I can help you. Help you maybe see what's wrong with you, or if you're good. Thank you so much for coming to class. I personally have, it's okay if you guys are diagnosed with anything, you can tell me. I'm not going to shame. This is a no judgment zone. I have depression, anxiety disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, which is GAD. You're going to see in the DSM-5. Social anxiety disorder, which is SAD. Seasonal anxiety disorder, which is actually a really interesting thing to get into. We'll get into that. It's basically in the winter when your body gets more sad. It's very interesting. I have histrionic disorder, and of course I have Asperger's syndrome. Oh, independent personality disorder. So there we go. Very, very quirky e-girl. But let me know what you guys have, and we'll read the DSM-5 for them. Ligma. Have mild OCD. Okay, we'll check that out. We'll check out the OCD category. SAD, depressive, schizoaffective, OCD, seasonal depression. All right. Now, we'll get into that, and we'll read about them for all you guys. And we're going to go over this really quickly, the paraphilic disorders. We have voyeurism and exhibitionist. Look, you guys don't have to say if you have any of these, but all I'm saying is, if you are watching pornography, you should probably stop. You should stop that. 100%, please stop that. Have you ever heard of Munchausen syndrome? Yes, I have. Munchausen and Munchausen by proxy. We're going to get into that. Very interesting. So voyeurism and exhibitionism are both disorders. Frotteuristic, sexual masochism disorder, and sexual sadism disorder. Pedophilic disorder, thank gosh that's in there. Fetishistic disorder, so if any of you guys like feet or armpits, there you go, you got something wrong with you. Transvestic disorder, which is different from gender dysphoria, which we might get into today. Feels like I'm in nursing school all over again. Should we get into Munchausen real quick? Other mental stuff. Medication-induced movement disorders. This is actually kind of sad. This is not my expertise. I did more with abnormal. And then other conditions that might be focus is basically, what could have caused it, like your upbringing with your parents or your siblings. And then we have codes and what they mean. And let's go right into the Munchausen, shall we? Oh, Roland wants to know what or why is it not showing up? Fraught. I don't know why it's not showing up in my thing, but okay, diagnostic criteria. Paraphilic is 685. So let's get to that. 685, big book. Something we're going to read after is what the potential factors of these can be. So we're going to get into, let me scroll down a bit. Cluster B. How do I find in page? I'm an old fart. Oh, here we go. Search. Oh, it only lets you search on that page. Dang it. But we're gonna keep on going down, rolling for you. Here we go. Here's the paraphilics for you, Roland. Okay. Fruitoristic disorder. Diagnostic features. The diagnostic criteria for fruitoristic disorder can apply both to individuals who relatively freely disclose this paraphilia to those who firmly deny any sexual attention from touching or rubbing against a non-consenting individual, regardless of considerable objective evidence to the contrary. This is basically, I call this the gigantic creep disorder, which is you like touching and rubbing against people when they don't consent. So very, very yucky, very yucky. I'm sure we could read more about this, including the risk to this Reddit disorder. But personally, I don't want to really tend to get into these things. You're a creepy weirdo. Alright. But, we'll go over just for the fun of it, because I know you guys think it's going to be so haha funny for my class. I'll go over it real quick. How to see if you have a fetishistic disorder. Now, I am Christian, and we are only doing this because I want you to know, if you have one of these disorders, you need to read your Bible and stop watching pornography. So the only reason why we're reading this, yes, this is a Christian stream, but I want you to know, think about yourself, apply it to yourself. Do you have one of these? And then the solution would be to read the Bible and stop watching pornography. So we're going to get into fetishistic disorders right now. And then we'll go into the cluster personalities. What's up, Hiddle? So, what do you have to do to have a fetishistic disorder? We have to meet 3 requirements. Over a period of at least 6 months, we have to have a recurrent and intense hoo-ha arousal from either the use of non-living objects or highly specific focus on non-genital body parts as manifested by fantasies, urges, or behaviors. Now, Carrie was coping earlier. He said that feet is not a fetishistic disorder. However, it clearly states here in the DSM-5 that a non-genital body part, which is feet, can be fetishistic disorder. So Carrie might have mental illness for liking feet. So, I hope you guys hopefully the shaming will get to you to stop watching porn and be good. But this is very good. So, apply this to yourself. Do you have that part? Do you have part A? Let's see if you have part B. Because this could be a real problem because you got to stop watching pornography and read your Bible. The fantasies, sexual urges, or behaviors cause clinically significant distress or impairment in social, occupational, or other important areas of functioning. Now, you might be saying, oh, what the heck does that mean, Athena? Oh, I'm distressed or impairment. For instance, if you're talking to a girl and you notice that she has like sandals on and you see her feet and you're like and you're getting impairment, that is a sign that you fit into part B. All right. And part C. The fetish objects are not limited to articles of clothing used in cross-dressing, as in transvestic disorders, or devices. Okay, we're not gonna read that part. That's a little too inappropriate. I did not realize. So it can't be any of those things. Has to be just that. So you could be a foot fetishist and you would have a real mental disorder. So if you like feet and these apply to you, you have a mental disorder, and the only cure for that is your Bible, pills, and not watching pornography. It's not that. I just like seeing female feet. Annabelle, I think you're coping right now. Now, let me know if you guys want to get into this. A very interesting thing they have is associated features supporting diagnoses, which are things that are comorbid. We're going to read this here. It says, can be a multi-sensory experience. Are people with foot fetishes born that way, or is it caused by porn? We're going to read that over here, Roland. And I would say it's... Well, you know, guys, I'm a psychoanalyst, which means I believe in Freudian psychology. So I think if you have a foot fetish, I bet you 100% it has to deal with your mother. I bet you 100% it has to deal with your mother. I'm sorry. But it has to deal with you seeing feet when you were younger. It has to do something with your mother or a female when you were younger and you liking them. However, social, I like to call it social hypnosis, can be a real thing, especially in pornography. For instance, people with, if we're going to get into it, masochism and sadism disorder, people usually aren't born that way. However, once they watch pornography, they start to like that, and then they have that mental disorder. Everyone understood we must eliminate moms. Everyone saw feet growing up, Athena. It's different. I'm not going to really get into it, but here's how it says. It says they have an onset during puberty, but fetishes can develop prior to adolescence. Once established, fetishistic disorder continues to have a course that fluctuates to intensity and frequency of urges or behaviors. It can definitely be cultural, like I was saying, with pornography. Stop watching porn. Yes, I have mommy issues. Exactly. Knowledge and appropriate consideration for normative aspects of sexual behavior or important factors to explore and establish a clinical diagnosis of fetishistic disorder, and to distinguish a clinical diagnosis from a socially acceptable sexual behavior, such as, getting married and then doing that. What if I have feet repulsive? Oh, that's a great, thank you so much, Jack. We can get into phobias, too. We can get into phobias. And then, this is actually very interesting. Fetishistic disorder has not systematically reported to occur in females. In clinical samples, fetishistic disorders is nearly exclusively repeated in males. So, I told you. Looks like men lose again, having mental disorders of feet. No, if this is actually a real problem for you, feel free to talk about it. Because we're here to help you. I'm here to help you. God is here for you. But it's very interesting that women are immune to fetishistic propaganda. And now they have the developmental, cure, cultural, gender, functional, and differentials and comorbidity through all of every disorder in this book. They have that. However, one of my favorite things to read is the functional consequences of it, which I think is really good, because when we go into things like personality disorders, you're going to see what happens if you don't get treatment for this. What happens if you don't take your meds for this? And this is what happens if your disorder is untreated. It says typical impairments associated with fetishistic disorder include sexual dysfunction during romantic reciprocal relationships when the preferred fetish object or body part is unavailable during foreplay or coitus. Ooh. Some individuals with fetishistic disorder may prefer solitary sexual activity associated with their fetishistic preferences, even when involved in a meaningful, reciprocal, and affectionate relationship. So you guys really got to stop. I think if this isn't a sign for you to stop watching porn or stop with your weird fetishes, I don't know what is. And then it says, although fetishistic disorder is relatively uncommon among arrested sexual offenders with paraphilias, males with fetishistic disorders may steal and collect the particular fetishistic objects of desires. We can read about kleptomania as well. Such individuals have been arrested and charged for non-sexual, antisocial behaviors. Examples such as breaking and entering, theft, and burglary that are primarily motivated by the fetishistic disorder. And then it can also relate, there's 3 types: transvestic, sexual masochism disorder, other paraphilic disorders, fetishistic behavior without fetishistic disorder, and comorbid. It is usually comorbid with hypersexuality. So I hope this is a good I hope this is a good lesson for you guys to please read the Bible and to please stop so you can get a normal, healthy relationship with a woman you are married to. So thank you, Roland, for that. And now we're going into Munchausen by proxy. Is that what you wanted, DonDoe? Control F. Munchausen. It only works for 1 page. How unfortunate. All right. We'll go to page. We'll go to Schizophrenia, 87. One second, my friends. Here we go. Oh, I said 97. What the fudgesicle? Why is it not? Oh, here we go. Okay. Very informative, Athy. Thank you. And what's up, Michael? Thank you, everybody, for joining my class today. Schizophrenia spectrum and other psychotic disorders. Here we go, class. So here are some key features that define these psychotic disorders. If you have these, I'm not here to shame you, but this is just a very informative stream. And if you want to get into abnormal psychology, you have to know these so you can help other people and diagnose what they have. Key features that define these disorders. Number one is we have to have delusions. It says here that delusions are fixed beliefs that are not amenable to change in light of conflicting evidence. Their contrast may include a variety of themes. There's lots of types of delusions. The first type is persecutory delusions. The belief that one is going to be harmed, harassed, and so forth by an individual, organization, or other group. This is basically gang stalking. Gang stalking is real. I believe gang stalking is gang stalking is real. However, it does fall under the mental illness category. Then we have referential delusions, the belief that certain gestures, comments, environmental cues, and so forth are directed at oneself. For instance, if somebody is raising his hand in public, if you're at the mall and you see somebody raise their hand and you think, oh my gosh, that guy needs me to come over to him right now. That guy needs me to come over to him right now. That will be, that's an example. Then we have grandiose delusions. This can coincide with narcissism. An individual believes that he or she has exceptional abilities, wealth, or fame. So maybe like you unironically believe you can fly and stuff or something like that. Or you secretly have a ton of money, or you're like, no, believe me. I have a ton of money. I'm a famous person. That is another type. And remember, I'm not here to shame you guys. I was shaming with the fetishistic disorder just because I think, you do have to get help for those so you can have a normal marriage with a woman. However, when it comes to schizophrenia, I'm not going to judge you. I want to help you. The reason why I'm doing this stream is because, I was going to major in this and I just want to help people and see, what they have. What do they have? How can I help you? And I would recommend reading the DSM-5 PDF if you are interested in stuff like that. Interested in researching more about what you might have. And erotomaniac delusions. Carrie said next up is average Vtuber watcher. Well, not my audience, thankfully. When an individual believes falsely that another person is in love with him or her. This can include VTubers that do parasocial relationships, or or people that do like the I love you ASMR and stuff. That is a erotomaniac disorder. And honestly, I don't put it 100 the fault on the person that has it. I put the blame on the VTubers or people who try to actually engage in that behavior. However, if it's just like a regular person that hasn't talked to you and you think that you're in love with them, yeah, it's definitely not their fault. It's okay, Athena, having mental disorders, it's expected. Yep, and I'm here for you. I saw someone wet themselves because they were afraid to go to the bathroom because they were being gang stalked. That's so sad. Ugh. I hope they got the help they deserved. ADHD, well, sometimes gang stalking is real, though. ADHD/ADD and autism talked about, yeah, I'm going to get roasted. No, we only looked at 2 things yet. I find it funny that a lot of the high-profile people that said the government was spying on them were actually being spied on, according to the recently released fire. So true, Looper. So, honestly, some of these are valid. I'm always afraid people will judge me because of my SAD, that is social anxiety disorder. But I've gotten over that mostly with Dear Gang. Well, you know what, Batsy, we're here for you. And, I was kink shaming earlier, but it's just because you guys deserved it, because so you can be a better person. Everything I do is because I care about you and I want you guys to be better people. I would never shame you for having a disorder. I want to help you. The increase in mental disorders correlates with the increase in quality of life in the Western world. Not getting into so effects because YouTube, but they're definitely something in the water if you ask me. Definitely, I agree. Are also seen. Now we have nihilistic disorders involve the conviction that a major catastrophe will occur. Honestly, I've been getting a lot of ads like this. It's like these Bible boomers that are like schizo and they think like the world's gonna end like tomorrow or something. So people like end time people, I mean, yes, the world's not in a good place and Jesus is gonna come back, but people that are like, oh my gosh, Jesus is coming tomorrow, like nobody knows the hour or the time, you know what I mean? Next we have somatic delusions. Focused on preoccupations regarding health and organ functions. This can also correlate to Munchausen, I would say. Yeah, doomsday cults. I don't mind the king shaming. What I have is really degen and I need Jesus. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you love Jesus. I have substance abuse disorder. I'm addicted to Dr. Pepper. Do you remember the televangelist who sold food buckets? Yes, those people are crazy. And now let's look up if you have delusions. Let's see if they're bizarre. Your delusions are bizarre if they clearly implausible and not understandable to same culture peers and do not derive from ordinary life experiences. An example of a bizarre delusion is the belief that an outside force has removed his or her internal organs and replaced them with somebody else's organs without leaving any wounds and scars. That's actually kind of creepy. That was like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. So like if you think, oh yeah, there's a word for this, or something like this. I remember reading this in Psych. I don't remember the word. If anybody knows the word, please tell me. It was when you think that, like, oh my gosh, what was it? It's when you think, like, that you're a clone of yourself or something. Or that you're not the real you and somebody else is in your body or something. What's up, Conda? Thank you so much, Alex. Athena, give me back my organs. Never, never. Invader Sim reference. Oh, I hated that episode. An example of a non-bizarre delusion is the belief that one is under surveillance by the police, real, despite a lack of convicting evidence. Delusions that express a loss of control over mind or body are generally considered to be bizarre. These include the belief that one's thoughts have been removed by an outside force, thought withdrawal, that alien thought have been pumped into one's mind, thought insertion. Yeah, the government's making me say it, or that one's body or actions have been acted on or manipulated by some outside force, delusions of control. Like, for instance, doppelganger, right? Thank you so much, Hiddle. For instance, if I think that I'm talking now and I'm moving now because somebody is programming me to, and like I'm actually a robot, that is an example of delusions of control. I feel like I want to make this bigger for you guys too. Oop. Is that oh, that is hold on one sec. All right, there we go. One sec. Perfect. Your VTuber avatar, it's true, someone is controlling you. What are you talking about? What are you talking about somebody's controlling me? You're gonna make me have schizophrenia, Annabelle. You're gonna make me have a grandiose delusion that somebody is controlling me. You guys can read and see, right? What's up, Ian? The next thing we're going to talk about is hallucinations. You have to have delusions and hallucinations to have schizo disorder. Next is hallucinations. If anybody does anybody have this, by the way? I'm not asking to judge you. I'm asking because I genuinely want to help you. Because I can recommend you stuff to do. Hallucinations are perception-like experiences that occur without an external stimulus. They are vivid and clear, with the full force and impact of normal perceptions, and not under voluntary control. They may occur in any sensory modality, but auditory hallucinations are the most common in schizophrenia and related disorders. Auditory hallucinations are usually experienced as voices, whether familiar or unfamiliar, that are perceived as distinct from the individual's own thoughts. So if you have like a little voice in your head right now saying like, don't listen to the deer, or saying like, that's a hallucination. And once again, I'm not laughing to make fun of you. I don't know. It's just, it's a serious topic, and I'm just trying to make it a little bit more silly. I had a friend who has hallucinations. Yeah, there's a lot of medications that can thankfully help with that, which we'll get into after we read some of these. Mine are downright evil. You know, it's interesting because as a Christian, some hallucinations are not demonic, and some are. So if you have like a little voice in your head saying like, oh, do this, or God's not real or something, I would just pray to rebuke any and all demons by the blood of the Lord's Son, Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach. I used to get auditory hallucinations of buzzing or ringing when I would have insomnia for days or weeks, possibly due to concussions. It has gone away now, though. Oh, I'm glad for that. Also, it's hot in here. Let me turn on the fan. Okay, class, I turned the fan on, and if you think it's too cold, it's all in your head. I've listened to someone getting in a car and driving off at 2 a.m. when I had to study for an exam. I got a massive F later. Oh, maybe you can put in, like, some earbuds or something? Okay. The hallucinations must occur in the context of a clear sensorium. Love that word. Those that include while falling asleep, hypnagogic, or waking up, hypnopompic, are considered to be within the range of normal experience. Hallucinations may be a normal part of religious experience in certain cultural context. Here's another thing you have to have, is disorganized thinking. My voices are giving me good, healthy advice, though. Maybe that's just the Lord speaking to you then. Disorganized thinking, formal thought disorder, is typically inferred from the individual's speech. The individual may switch from one topic to another. This can also be with ADD. Answers to questions may be obliquely related or completely unrelated. Rarely, speech may be so severely disorganized that it is nearly incomprehensible and resembles receptive aphasia in its linguistic disorganization. Word salad. This can be in old people or people with neurological disorders too. Kind of sad. Thank you so much, Annabelle. What's up, Takoi? Thank you so much for joining. Because mildly disorganized speech is common and non-suspicific, probably what I have, the symptom must be severe enough to sustainably impair effective communication. The severity of the impairment may be difficult to evaluate if the person making the diagnosis comes from a different linguistical background than the person being examined. So if you want to get diagnosed for schizophrenia, see a English doctor. Less severe disorganized thinking or speech may occur during the prodromal or residual period of schizophrenia. Grossly disorganized or abnormal motor behavior. This can also include stuff like Tourette's or autism, especially lower functioning, but it also goes as well as anxiety, but we're referring to it in the schizophrenic sense right now. You sometimes slur your speech after a hard workout. I think it's just because your body is like getting back to normal. Disorganized or abnormal motor behavior may manifest itself in a variety of ways, ranging from childlike silliness to unpredictable agitation. Problems may be noted in any form of goal-directed behavior, leading to difficulties in performing activities of daily living. Catatonic behavior is a marked disease in reactivity to the environment. This ranges from resistance to instructions to maintaining a rigid, inappropriate, or bizarre posture to complete lack of verbal and motor responses. Can also include purposeless and excessive motor activity without oblivious cause, catatonic excitement. Other features are repeated stereotyped movements, staring, grimacing, mutism, and the echoing of speech. Although catatonia has historically been associated with schizophrenia, catatonic symptoms are nonspecific and may occur in other mental disorders, bipolar, depressive, and in other medical conditions. Catatonic disorder due to another Then you have to have diminished emotional expression and avolition to have it. Reducedness and expression of emotions in the face, eye contact, enunciating of speech, movements in hand, head, face. It's basically the fluoride stare is what I'd say. Just the dang, you got the whole squad laughing up look, And then avolition, which is an increase in motivated self-initiated purposeful activities. The individual may sit for long periods of time and show little interest in participating in work or social activities. Basically like an NPC thing, like you just sitting there, not thinking, just sitting there. Kind of sad, honestly. You may have alogia, which is diminished speech output, and hedonia, which is the decreased ability to experience pleasure from positive stimuli or degradation in the recollection. For instance, if you went on like a roller coaster and you just like didn't say anything or have an excited face, or a degradation in the recollection of pleasure previously experienced, or you can't think of anything happy. You don't have any internal monologue? I thought everybody has that. The Zuckerberg look. Asociality refers to the apparent lack of interest in social interactions and may be associated with avolition, but it can also be a manifestation of limited opportunities for social interactions. Okay. Now we're going to look at the 3 types of disorders in cluster A, which fall into those categories. The schizotypal personality disorder. Now, what do you have to have this? There's 3 types, remember. You have to have a delusion for a month or longer. Criterion A for schizophrenia has never been met, so you've never been diagnosed with schizophrenia before. Apart from the impact of the delusions, functioning is not marked impaired and behavior is not obviously bizarre or odd. So this is only the delusional disorder. Oh, sorry. I didn't read that. There's 3 types of this. Hey, Athena, what's your opinion on meds that alter mental state? I never trusted stuff like that if my surroundings make me unhappy. I don't think medication is the right way, but many think otherwise. Stuff like medication, the field of psychology, it's such a gray subject. People think it's either a black or white answer, but there's so many variables for so many different people. I'll just tell you my testimony. Personally, for me, starting in 5th grade, I had major depressive disorder, suicidal thoughts, social anxiety disorder. This was all comorbid with my Asperger's, right? So I needed to be put on, I wasn't on meds, right? I tried therapy and everything for a couple years, and it just resulted in me, self-harming more, yelling, meltdowns, very frequent meltdowns, I might add, throwing chairs at people, stuff like that. However, I was on mood stabilization medicine, which helped, and I was on antidepressants. And my mood stabilization medicine has been treating me well. I have the correct dose. My dose was a bit high at first, but over the years, it's been lowered as I progressively am getting better mentally through religion as well, and surrounding myself with good people. You have to remember, some of these mental illnesses, it can be caused by childhood. You can be born with it. Can be social situations. It can obviously get better or worse depending on who you surround yourself with, the job you have, stuff like that. So, however, with my antidepressants, it took 3 tries of medication to find the one that worked for me. And then over the course of the years, it was altered, the dosage was altered just a little bit. My goal is to eventually get off my medicine completely, but as of now, I still have to be on my medication because even though I'm so blessed, the world around me is wonderful. I don't care about bad news or anything. I have all you guys. I was born where my mind will just think the absolute worst no matter what, and I will want to harm myself, and I will say, oh, I'm not worthy enough, and I'll unironically want to kill myself. It's a harsh truth, but it's true. So, things that have really helped me is religion, believing in the Lord, loving the Lord, and medication. So it really, really, it's such a tricky subject. I would go to a psychologist for a while, and then if they say you are diagnosed with something, I would go to a psychiatrist, see what the psychiatrist says, ask them about side effects, and see if that works for you. Because, for instance, if you're just a regular normie who's black-pilled and doesn't fit in anything in the DSM-5 criteria, honestly, I would just say, think positive, you would go see a therapist. Think positive, be Christ-filled, stuff like that. But it's entirely different when you have a mental disorder, which is what psychiatry is used for. Therapist is like, oh, you're sad, you don't have any mental disorder, okay, here's some help. But if you have an unironic, I don't know why I say unironic, if you have an actual mental disorder, medication can help. It depends, though. I would say it works the best with moods, any disorders relating to moods or depression. However, hyperactivity, medication when it comes to hyperactivity is a completely different story because Mr., for instance, has ADD, attention deficit disorder, and ADHD. Those are comorbid with each other. And when he tried medicine, it might have been a wrong dosage. It might have been any medicine. Sometimes people have bad reactions to all sorts of medicine, and unfortunately, you can't have medicine throughout your life. His medicine it helps him focus, but it makes him feel sad. So he just deals with being, a little attention deficit and not on meds with that. It's not something that, like he's going to kill himself over, like major depressive disorder. So it really depends on the person. It depends on what you have. It depends on a ton of variables. Some things it is, maybe you have this disorder due to your family or trauma or something, and rebuilding bonds with family is a great way to feel better. Sometimes you can do things without medication that will really help your disorder get better, and other times you will need medication. I'm just telling you. I wonder sometimes if I have some sort of maybe trauma-based autism or Asperger's or something like that, but never wanted to self-diagnose, but I might try and see a psychiatrist hopefully soon. Autism can't be, I'm sorry to say this, but autism, maybe trauma can make your autism or Asperger's worse, but autism or Asperger's is a genetic disorder, a genetic mental illness where you are born with it. So you've had it all your life, but sometimes it takes time to manifest. So I would look at the DSM-5. We'll actually look at autism after schizophrenia, and maybe that will help you. I say trauma-based in a sense where seeing things I shouldn't at an early age. That can definitely, I would say maybe you have something comorbid with your autism, probably a mood disorder if you saw things like that, but I never got my degree. I took a lot of classes and I almost got there, but I'm a stinky neat who dropped out of college, so I would
autism is lifelong, but a lot of autists have trauma. Yeah. There's a reason why anxiety and depression is comorbid with autism, because especially when we're younger, we don't understand the world. Neurotypicals do, and for that reason, we might have some trauma on certain things. But trauma won't cause your autism. Orange, trauma can't cause autism, but it's common that people get trauma if they have autism. If you need, definitely take an ADQ test and then see if you can be diagnosed. It does help. Understood. Yeah, if therapy doesn't help, medication can help. Unfortunately, I heard there was a lot of doctors medicating kids due to ADD or ADHD when there's no need for it. Okay. So, if you're going to want to go to a psychologist or psychiatrist that has 5-star reviews, definitely has their PhD. Don't go to one with go to a doctor when you go to a psychiatrist and a psychologist. Ones that are rated good. Because some doctors just want to... Well, only psychiatrists can prescribe you medicine. But some doctors just want their check and that's it. You need to make sure that you're going to a good doctor. Just like any medical field, you need to make sure you're going to a good doctor. So look up good doctors online and read the reviews. Because usually Prinnas, it actually comes down to mothers that are like, honestly, Karen moms that are like, oh, my child keeps banging on the desk at school and the teacher's yelling at him. I don't know what to do. And she's like, okay, here's meds. She's like, okay, go to the psychiatrist. He has ADD. Get meds. Shut up. But people don't understand that the school environment was made in a way where it's pure torture for kids. I mean, wasn't school like the school curriculum founded by the Rothschilds or something like that? So one of those people that makes it literally a mental prison. You can't blame somebody for shaking their leg or being bored in a classroom when it's literally that. Most kids don't have ADD or ADHD, in the classroom. However, unironically, food dyes, be careful with your food, because the cereal that they're pumping out with all these food dyes like Fruity Pebbles has unironically been linked to cause hyperactivity, ADD, ADHD, and cancer. So please be careful. ADD, ADHD is something you can improve on. Reading and internet fasting can help with that, I know from experience. Yeah. Good evening, Matthias. How are you doing today? I hope everybody in my class is doing well and you are enjoying this. Maybe you are learning a lot. Yes, unnecessary meds. I remember when I took Ritalin, that turned me into a zombie during a good chunk of my childhood. I'm sorry about that, friends. Have trauma issues with my dad. I used to too, but unironically, pray about it and have a heart-to-heart with him. I know, Vanilla, it's going to be hard. But if you can patch up your family issues, then you'll feel a lot better. Because I would argue that a lot of mental disorders stem from family matters, unironically. I've read that circumcision from a Danish study can increase the odds of children developing autism. Danish children are hardly ever, but the recent Muslims who always do have it 50% more often. I've never heard about that, but that's very interesting. Maybe it has to do something with the nerves. Childhood trauma in 2022 is when your parents take away your DS once. Yeah, I was diagnosed with ADD but refuse any medication due to the really crappy side effects. Yeah, medication when it comes to ADD is pretty nasty. Speech therapy did nothing for me. I took speech therapy because I had trouble saying words, and unironically it helped me. She did these flashcard things and she was very nice. Sometimes it just depends on the teacher, Marku, unfortunately. Some docs love handing out pills. Be careful. Agree. Don't like school. Have some prescribed actual math. Just what Maxwell's family runs McGaw Hill, writes all the textbooks. Thank you, Vanilla Master. Thank you for if Vanilla Master gets Epstein, now we know why. A psychiatrist diagnosed me with Asperger's, and antidepressants were really bad for me this year. I've been trying to be better instead of just being a NEET, and that helped me a lot. I'm so glad, Gabriel. And unironically, guys, if you go outside and you just bask in the grass and the glory of the world that God created, it will really help you. Same with exercising. Meds can help, but unironically, exercising and going out will help you too. My nephew can't have stuff with red 40 or he breaks out in rashes and becomes hyperactive. Yep. Sometimes you have to get away from family too if they won't / can't understand. You gotta look out for number one. Yeah, but it's always good to try to patch things up. I'm just learning about ADHD / ADD 2 years ago. We'll read about ADHD, ADD after autism. It's a procedure which is never done with anesthetics. So it is excruciating, painful procedure for babies only days all to endure. Thank you so much, Orc. That's fascinating. I remember one of these meds is just legal meth. What's up, Get? Thank you for tuning in. Those pills turned one of my friends into a cross-dresser. But to be fair, he was bipolar. Oh. He probably has, I would say he has some sort of DID or transvestive disorder. We're in a relationship with my dad, but it seems impossible to communicate with things. He always assumes things and jumps to conclusion, talks over me, and interrupts all the time. Yeah, same with my father. But, you know, assumptions make an ass out of you and me. Excuse my language there, but have to say it because it's a pun. And the best thing to do is just, you know, sit him down, have some water, maybe over like a food he likes or something, and just talk to him, have a heart-to-heart. Lemon lime soda? I want an orange! But mental illness does run in families, so sucks, but it's true. If manic or major depressive episodes have occurred, these have brief relative to the duration of the delusion periods. We're getting back to DSM. Disturbance is not attributable to the physiological effects of substance or another medication. So basically, you can't be having them because you're on meth or something. Or it can't be because you have body dysmorphic or OCD. No, I don't swear. That's not a bad word. That's in the Bible. I can say it. I'm so sorry, Vanilla. Maybe something like CBD will help him. That helped my father. And then we have to specify the types of delusions you have. Specify if they're acute. Yeah. The next thing we have is psychotic disorder in the schizophrenic type, where you have to have all three, presence of one or more of these: delusions, hallucinations, disorganized speech, or grossly disorganized or catatonic behavior, which we learned about above. The duration of the episode of the disturbance is at least 1 day, but less than 1 month. And it's not better explained by major depressive or bipolar disorder, or another psychotic disorder such as schizophrenia or catatonia. We have to specify with marked stressors and without it. Here we go. Schizophreniform disorder, which is delusions, two or more. So like this is the you're getting up there. Delusions, hallucinations, disorganized speech, grossly disorganized or catatonic behavior, and negative symptoms. Episode last this. Schizophrenic disorder have been ruled out. The disturbance is not attributed to the psychological effects of a substance. Specify if with good prognostic or with good prognostic, or without, with catatonia. Now, here's the last one you could probably guess before we get right into the excuse me, class. His family has a history of bipolar. Has he seen a shrink? Does he want to see a shrink or no? I got it recommended, but no notification. Please hit the bell. Please hit the bell. Hopefully that will help. Hey, Athena. Thank you. I think I have a problem about religious scrumpulicity. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that word means. Sorry. Basically praying. Thinking I messed up and sinned when temptation comes to mind. Praying constantly, asking for forgiveness. You know, it's normal to have temptations. It's not your fault. The devil tempts us all the time. The good thing is when we don't engage in those temptations. So, you know, rebuking those temptations in the name of Jesus. And I would like to say, at the end of the night say, Lord, please forgive me for my sins, voluntary and involuntary. Heard it's a sign of OCD. Oh, if you're like constantly saying, forgive me, forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. It could be a little obsessive compulsive, but I think you just want to make sure you're good, but you need to realize you're fine. Think it's normal to be tempted. You're a human. Athena's correct. Thank you. Now, here is the big one. We're going to get into the big two. Schizophrenia. How do you know if you have schizophrenia? So let's see. A lot of you guys like to joke that you have this, but let's actually see. 2 or more of the following for a significant portion of time. Delusions, hallucinations, disorganized speech, grossly disorganized or catatonic behavior, and negative symptoms, which we all read about above. For a significant portion of time since the onset of the disturbance, level of functioning in one or more major areas such as work, interpersonal relations, or self-care. Well, thanks so much, Looper. I hope you have a fantastic day. Thank you for coming to class. Is markedly below the level achieved prior to the onset. Seeing a humanized deer every day is a sign of schizophrenia. No, we're just living in a crazy world, my friend. Continuous signs of the disturbance persist for at least 6 months. So if you guys, I honestly, I unironically do not think anybody watching me currently in my chat does have schizophrenia, even though you guys like to joke about it. You may have some of the things we wrote about earlier, but you do not have the actual schizophrenic disease, I believe. I also have problems about constantly thinking, like when something good happens or bad happens, and my thoughts concluding something putting me down. I don't know how to describe it, but it puts me down, kind of interrupts on me. If like you're thinking good stuff, and then you think bad stuff because something good happens, it might just be demons. You know, a lot of it, you have to know that God loves you, you are worth something, and demons will try to hurt you, but we're here for you, and God's here for you, of course. Okay, more than 6 months. You gotta have schizoaffective disorder or depressive or bipolar disorder with psych. Oh, sorry, they've been ruled out. So no schizoaffective disorder or bipolar or depressive. Disturbance is not attributable to the physiological effects of the substance, can't be on meth. If there is, now this is a very interesting one. If there is a history of autism spectrum disorder or communication disorder of childhood onset, the additional diagnosis of schizophrenia is made only if prominent delusions or hallucinations, in addition to the other required symptoms of schizophrenia, are also present for at least 1 month. Which is interesting because autism is comorbid with a lot of things, but not really schizophrenia, not a big percentage. And then specify the diagnostic features, associated features, prevalence. This is actually very interesting. I like reading this. I know it's kind of doesn't really matter, but says that 0.3 and 0.7 is the prevalence of schizophrenia in people in a lifetime. I remember one of the things when I was in Psych, we always talked about is they would, for all the disorders, they would always have a chart of which race and which gender it affects the most. And I always thought that was so interesting. Did you go through schizoid? I think we did go to schizoid. Right now we're doing schizophrenia. How much of your chat do you think has autism? At least 50%, I'd say. At least 50% here. But in the best way possible. The sex ratio differs across samples and populations. An emphasis on negative symptoms and longer duration of disorder shows higher incident rates for males, whereas definitions allowing for the inclusion of more mood symptoms, oh, woman, am I right? But and brief presentations show equivalent risk for both sexes. development and course. These are always really interesting. We'll read a little bit here. Schizophrenia typically emerges between the late teens and the mid-30s. Onset prior to adolescence is very rare. Now, this is something, if you want to be a psychologist and diagnose people, you have to know this stuff. This is well, you have to know all this. But this is very important to know. Or if you're online and you want to know if somebody is faking, these are very important to know. If somebody says they have schizophrenia and they're 13, they don't have schizophrenia. It's like a 1 in a million chance they do. Because it's very good to know what age, and it's just so fascinating, the brain, about when these disorders come about and why they come about and the reasons. It's just so... I don't know, sorry, I'm spurging, I just love Psych. The peak age of onset for the first psychotic episode is in the early to mid-20s for males and in the late 20s for females. So interesting, isn't it? The onset may be abrupt or insidious, but the majority of individuals manifest a slow and gradual development. So it's not going to happen all at once. It happens over time. A variety of clinical significant signs and symptoms. Half of these individuals complain of depressive symptoms, so very comorbid with depression. Earlier age at onset has traditionally been seen at a predictor or worse prognosis. However, the effective age at the onset is likely related to gender. Wow. With males having worse pre-morbid adjustment, lower educational achievement, probably because their disorder affected them and they couldn't learn properly. More prominent negative symptoms, aka not wanting to socialize, and cognitive impairment, and in general, a worse outcome. So men have it worse. Impaired cognition is common, and alterations in cognition are present during development and precede the emergence of psychosis, taking the form of stable cognitive impairments during adulthood. Cognitive impairments may persist when other symptoms are in remission and contribute to the disability of the disease. So interesting, isn't it? Wow, I just love it so much. Schizophrenia scares me. Imagine you're fine, then mid-20s you start to deteriorate. You know, it is unfortunate. And I feel so weird, you know, it's like we're talking about crazy diseases and I'm like, oh, I love it so much. But it's just so, the human brain is just so fascinating. And I love, like, diagnosing and helping people. Well, I can't professionally diagnose anyone, but I can be a help to what you might have or how to help you with advice or stuff. It's just so fascinating. And I love, it's like playing the lottery. It's a miserable process. You watch the person watch away. Yeah, same with Alzheimer's. It's unfortunate. You know, the best thing you can do is pray for those people and pray that they get better or medicine can help them or something. But I feel like everything happens for a reason, and we're all on a journey that God is taking us through. This is a very cool stream. Psychology is interesting as fudge. Thank you. I love psychology, too, ever since I played Psychonauts 1. I recommend you play it, Athena. Okay, you should DM it to me. You should go to school for psych. Sassy, I did! I was going to major in psych in college. I took a bunch of classes, and then I dropped out. I forgot where we were. Oh, here we go. There is good news, my friends. Psychotic symptoms tend to diminish over the life course, perhaps associated with normal age-related declines in dopamine activity. So interesting. No, you should finish. No, I don't want to go back to college. I have to be with you guys. Negative symptoms are more closely related to prognosis than are positive symptoms and tend to be the most persistent. So even though your delusions and hallucinations might go, you still might be antisocial, basically. Furthermore, cognitive deficits associated with the illness may not improve over the course of the illness. Are the first semesters of psychology just reading from the DSM-5? Oh, no, Carrie. The DSM-5, the DSM-5 is reserved for the very good boys and girls who do a lot of psychology classes. You are not going to get into the DSM-5 unless... Well, you're going to learn about the disorders in the DSM-5, and you're going to learn about the criteria, the symptoms, the causes and stuff, but you're not actually going to read it until maybe, like, you have to do a dissertation on it or something, or your teacher assigns it for homework. But, Gosh, I remember I took Intro to Psych. It sucked so much. It was like, hi class, today we're going to be learning about personality types and, placebos and the super ego. And I was like, I don't care. I want to learn about schizophrenia. I want to learn about depression. Psychology, Intro to Psych is basically general psych. The stuff you have to know, in relational psychology, stuff you have to know to get to cool stuff like abnormal psych and developmental psych. Developmental psych, I have to add, was so cool. I loved it so much. I was struggling between developmental psych or abnormal psych. Now you might say, Athena, why not both? Why not developmental and abnormal psych, which is, children with mental health disorders? But I kind of just wanted to prefer one or the other. Developmental psych is the psychology of children and how they develop, how they form, what we can do to help them if they have mental disorders. Very interesting. I took Psych 2. It was very dry. Intro to Psych is pretty dry, but if you stick with it, you'll get to the meat and potatoes, like abnormal psych, which is super fun. Don't take, I would suggest I would not recommend you take gender. Okay, there's literally, when I was at my college, there was 2 psychology classes. It said men's psychology and women's psychology. It's like I don't really need to know. Like, it says it right here in the DSM-5. How many men to women have it. You know what I mean? I don't even know what they're talking about in there for a whole semester, but I think that's probably a waste of money. So I would say go for the meat and potatoes of psych, like developmental or abnormal. Would strongly recommend abnormal. Gonna take African studies to meet some babes? Of course you would, Roland. I took analysis. I never took analysis. My university was Christian-based and it didn't have any... Well, I'm glad your university was Christian. Those cost a ton of money, though. I went to community college. Dang. I did about 3 years myself, almost a minor, but in all seriousness, the DSM hasn't really been grounded since DSM-2. Around the same time, there are a bunch of activists got some certain people on it. I mean, the DSM is still pretty well rounded. Yes, there's like some big changes that some may argue should still be in it or should still be left out, but I mean, it's basically the manual for everything you need to know. This is what people look at to diagnose you with. This is like the thing. You know what I mean? They talk about how men and women think it could be hogwash. University in normal countries is free. Stop care, you're gonna make me cry. Isn't it weird how, like, in America, public school, by the way, public school is awful. Community college is better than public school. Public schools are free, right? Aren't they free? They all suck. Don't go to... just be homeschooled anyway. If you can't afford private school, be homeschooled. Because public school, you either get shot at, you won't learn anything, or you'll be indoctrinated. But community college, it's not even university. It's like, quote unquote, it's like the quote unquote public school of college, and you still have to pay a ton of money. What the heck? There's this one guy that thinks anime causes transgenderism. He works on the DSM-5, which is Bayes Blanchard or something. Oh yeah, I think he got taken off because anime does not cause transgenderism. If that was the case, all my audience would be transgender because you are watching an anime girl, and I don't think you guys are. After grade 10, public school is worth this. I still have 1 more year. You can do it. Still cheaper than uni, right? Public schools are free because you pay with your sanity. I pay with my tax dollars. I work hard to earn that money. Okay, anyway, let's continue. Class. Forgot where we were. But the risk of schizophrenia are environmental and genetic. And of course, there's some... Oh, I heard... Okay, this is very interesting. I want to read this. You have to pay taxes. I paid taxes this year. Unfortunately, I had to, or else I would be in jail. Do they pay taxes in Germany and Britain? I'm curious. Do all countries pay taxes? I took a psychology class last year during my senior high school. Most of the girls in that class were addicted to TikTok and were mentally ill. Scared me away from taking psychology in the future. That's kind of sad, honestly. Was it intro to psych? Because if it was abnormal psych, all countries pay taxes. Okay. Because if it was abnormal psych, there are some people who want to take psych because they have mental illness to understand their mental illness better. However, there are some normies that want to be doctors too in psych. Taxes in America suck. I hate taxes. Anime can lead to degeneracy in programming tops. Anything can lead to degeneracy, okay? Anyway, let's continue, class. This is very idea. Ideas that appear to be delusional in one culture, witchcraft, may be commonly held in another. In some cultures, visual or auditory hallucinations with a religious content, hear God's voice, or a normal part of religious experience, because it's real. It's crazy because witchcraft is real too. Like, you can hear demons' voices. Don't do it. I rebuke it. But God's voice is also real. Normal part of religious experience. In addition, the assessment of disorganized speech may be made difficult by linguistics. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's see the gender ratio. Schizophrenia, lower in females, particularly among the treated cases. This is the same with autism. More men have autism than women. You may argue that's because of genetics, but a lot of it has to do with masking, girls masking, and there not being education on Asperger's or autism in females. But trust me, I went to like an autism place. There are definitely females with autism. There was like this, I mean, there's nothing wrong with watching Sesame Street if you're older, but there was like a 15-year-old low-functioning girl who was just watching Sesame Street all day, and I was her friend. It was really sweet. But autism definitely exists in females, and it kind of bothers me when some doctors still say autism is men only. Like, it's not. Like, the reason why I think I'm definitely female. I'm not transgender or anything, but I do feel like I have more male characteristics, and I feel like a lot of that is because I have autism. A lot of men have autism. More men than women have autism, and it's something genetic. But I feel like maybe some genetic code in my brain made me like more male-centered stuff. Very interesting. Doctors actually say that. Not all doctors, but some doctors unfortunately still think that. You think witchcraft is fake? I don't know, man. Demons are real. God is real too. That's why God is going to defeat all the demons. My ex says she has autism. I think she's borderline, though. Very volatile. Yeah, I feel like if more people read the DSM-5, they would realize that they don't have autism. Unfortunately, today in today's societies, a lot of females say they have autism because they want to attract, because a lot of men with mental illness say they want an autistic GF, and girls try to be quirky, to be like, oh, not like the other girls. But if you're a woman and you have autism like me, unironically, like real autism, shout out to you for not being fake about it and doing it to get attention. Most of them have NPD, narcissistic personality disorder. There's some interesting science behind genetics and autism. So true, Vanilla. It's very interesting that, like, for instance, people with autism have GERD, for instance, like me. Like, I burp a lot because it's genetic related. It's very interesting. Yeah, I don't know why they think being mentally ill is cool. It's really not. I think it's like narcissism, it manifests differently among the sexes. Autismo manifests differently in the sexes. You might be autismo, but you have decent social adeptness. The other deer with fake autism. Suicide risk. 5 to 6% of individuals with schizophrenia die by suicide. That's sad. About 20 attempt suicide. This sounds so bad to say, but I'm excited to read the statistics when we get to the depressive disorder on this. Consequences of schizophrenia, if you don't get untreated, are social and occupational dysfunction. We've been known. And then comorbidity with those. I think this is the last one in cluster A. Schizoaffective. And then the other one is like taking meth that makes you crazy, psychotic. There's a lot. I kind of just wanted to get to schizophrenia. We learning about delusion disorders, hallucination disorders, and that. But I mean, we could go on forever if we get to that. Name a disorder, guys. I don't really want to go to bipolar because it's super long with bipolar 1 and bipolar 2. I have here schizophrenia, bipolar, depressive, anxiety. We'll go to depression. Statistics are racist, Athena. No. Oh, no. Okay, here we go. BPD could be fun to read. It's really long. But I think you guys all know about depression. Okay, here we go. MDD, major depressive disorder, what I had. Let's see. Let me know if you guys have any of this, because if you are depressed, please reach out for help. We are here to help you. I'm very interested in seeing the suicide risk. Okay, let's look at the suicide risk. Possibility of suicidal behavior exists at all times during major depressive episodes. The most consistently described risk factor is past history. Where's the percentage? I guess it didn't say that. But let's see if you guys have major depressive. Wait, are we getting to the race statistics? Do they have those here? I learned that in class. Prevalence. I wonder when this was updated. This is messed up. It says that 7% of people have it. Females experience 1.5 to 3-fold higher rates than males beginning in early adolescence. That's very interesting. I would think that more males would have depression than female, but it's very interesting that more females are diagnosed with depression. Maybe it's because of the pills they're on or something, like birth control, something like that. That can be a cause. Culture, gender. I don't see it here. However, I do have the race statistics for you. When I was in Psych, abnormal Psych, I want you guys to guess. Okay, be optical, but I want you guys to guess which race has the highest risk for suicide and commits suicide. Now, when I was there, I thought, like, remember Japan, the work culture there, they commit suicide a lot. And I was thinking, oh, it has to be Asian, right? That's what I was thinking. But it's actually a very interesting fact. It is actually Native Americans are at the highest risk for suicide and committing suicide, even though they account for the smallest race in America. Isn't that crazy? I never knew that. And then we went into why and stuff, but I'm not going to get into that. But it's very interesting. This is a fun fact for you in psych class. Girls actually attempt suicide more. Men just succeed more because we're better at everything. Genzo, no! Okay. So let's see. What do you have to have major depressive disorder, chicos? Somebody, Jack, come on now. You can't be saying that. Somebody delete that comment. You have to have 5 or more. And remember, depression is normal. That's not a mental illness. However, major depressive and prolonged depression can be mental disorders. For instance, if your grandma died or something and you're depressed, that's normal. However, it is entirely different if you have major depressive disorder and such. So we're going to read about it here. You must have 5 or more of the following symptoms during a 2-week period and represent a change from previous functioning. At least one of the symptoms is either depressed mood or loss of interest or pleasure. What is masking? We'll get to that when we get to autism. We'll do autism next. I just wanted to do this first. Depression is not a mental illness, but feet fetish is. The heck? Well, it's normal to be depressed. It's normal to have anxiety sometimes. But having depression as a mental illness is, it has to be more than just, oh, I'm sad or anxious sometimes. Just like you can admire a woman's foot. I still think it's a little weird. However, being a foot fetishist and having the criteria met in the diagnosis that we read earlier is a mental illness, yes. We read that fetish stuff is mental illness. It can get to a point where it's mental illness. Okay, anyway. You have to have a depressed mood most of the day. This is so sad. It just reminds me of when I was super depressed and stuff, but I'm so blessed for God and medication that I feel a lot better. But this can be very helpful. If you guys are sad, let's see if you fit these, and then I would recommend praying and going to a psychologist. And and go outside, touch grass, unironically touch grass, bask in the sun, work out, eat good food. There's a lot you can do to help. You must have we already read that. Markedly diminished interest or pleasure in all or almost all activities, most of the day, nearly every day. Now, this is a very interesting one. Remember, you have to have 5 or more, so it's okay if you don't fit some of these. This is actually one I did not have. For some reason, I've maintained a normal. I'm still under the average of weight, like I'm 90 pounds, but I still did not do this. However, sometimes with depression, you don't want to eat, you don't want to do anything. So, you can have a significant weight loss when not dieting or weight gain. A change of 5% of body weight within a month, which is pretty crazy. And we're not going to go over eating disorders today. I think everybody kind of knows about that. Aspie is neurodivergent. Yep. Anyone who differs from norm. Is weeb a mental disorder? I mean, I don't know. 90, you said you were 94 once. Are you eating well, Athena? I don't know. I recently weighed myself. It went down a bit. Maybe I got to eat more. Okay. Insomnia or hypersomnia nearly every day. Psychomotor agitation or retardation nearly every day. It's okay. I can say that word. Observable by others, not merely subjective feelings of restlessness or being slowed down. Fatigue or loss of energy. That was a bad one. That was a bad one I had. Lots of fatigue. Now this one, I think this hit everybody with depression. Feelings of worthlessness or excessive or inappropriate guilt nearly every day. Dang. I mean, I love psychology and I love learning, but gosh, isn't that just such a
sad feeling. I want every one of you to know, I'm not just saying this as your teacher, but also as your friend, and also as your mom, and also as your grandma, that you are not, I know this is like such like a stupid thing to say. Oh, you don't mean it, you're just saying that. I really do mean it, that you're not worthless. You don't have to feel guilty about being yourself. You don't have to. God loves you. Did you know that God loves you so much? And that you are worth so much to him, and you are worth so much to us? There's no reason to take your life. You have a lot to live for. You can get a wife and have a wonderful family one day. Things are going to work out. Trust me. I've tried taking my life, and it's not worth it. I'm so blessed that I wake up and I see the beautiful world that the Lord has created, and I'm friends with everybody. It's just so happy. Can you really say retardation? I can on stream, but I don't know about you guys typing it. Sounds like my GF. Scared of huh? Trying to believe in myself more. I have issues with learned helplessness. You can do it! I believe in you! Diminished ability to think or concentrate, or indecisiveness. I still have indecisiveness. I guess I have this trouble saying words too. Oh, Joes, we're reading about depression nearly every day, and recurrent thoughts of death, recurrent suicidal ideation without a specific plan or suicide attempt or specific plan for committed suicide. Shame. The symptoms cause clinical significant distress or impairment. The episode is not attributable to a substance. Okay. Some statistics, criteria for it. I don't want. It's honestly gonna make me sad. I didn't know. But yeah, definitely a lot of risk I think depression might be one of the things that have the most risk and prognostic factors. Temperamental, neuroticism, environmental, childhood, of course. It always comes back to childhood. I'll say that once, I'll say it again. Nearly everything in this book, about 70% of this book, risk factors will be childhood. It all comes back to your family, I tell you. Genetic, that is true. Depression is genetic. Look at this fact. It says heritability is 40%. That's crazy. If you had this disorder and you have a kid, there's a 40% chance it's gonna have depression in its life. That's crazy. Oh, we've talked about it enough. Don't worry. You have worth. You are loved. You can beat depression. Suicide is permanent. Depression can be recovered. So true, Jack. And course modifiers. And we already read this stuff. We already read this. Comorbid, yeah. Could be comorbid with a ton of stuff. Oh! We got... I didn't know this was a thing. Did they add this recently? What? I didn't know PMS was an actual mental disorder. Dang! That's kind of funny. Dude! I have this! I didn't know this was an actual thing. Sorry, that's probably TMI. We'll move on from that. I thought that I didn't know that was an actual thing. Let's one moment. Dang, 50% irritable? That's crazy. I didn't know that was a thing. I did. Read it? Let's read it. No, we're not gonna read it. That's too personal. This is a Christian stream. That's way too personal. We're not reading about that. If you want to learn more about it, you can Google what PMS is. Okay. There's a lot under the depression tab. I think we're done with... We are being clinical. Sure. Yeah, sure.
You guys can't trick me. Anxiety, that deals a lot with depression, but I want to get into it. I don't think it's PMS, Athena. Ugh, let me scroll back up and see if it's the same thing. I thought all women had PMS. No, not all of them. I'll scroll up and see if it's the same thing. Is PDD the same as PMS? I'm pretty sure they're different. Is PDD the same as PMS? Oh, sorry, it's PMDD. PMDD is a severe, sometimes disabling extension of PMS. Oh, okay, so PMS in of itself is not a mental disorder, but PMDD is just like a more extreme version that I guess some guys were like, yeah, this is definitely a mental disorder. These women are crazy. Isn't PMS the month thing? I don't do English. It's called menstruation, which is the month thing. But come on, this is Christian stream, guys. We're getting off topic. Some guy put this in here because his wife was PMSing too hard. So it's like the ultimate woman moment. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Aunt Flo. Where's autism at? Dissociative. We're not going to go in. Well, we might go into OCD later if we have time. PTSD, dissociative DID, anorexia, sleep disorders, elimination disorder, gender dysphoria. That could get me in trouble. Let's check the list again. Sexual disorders, paraphilic personality. Ah! Oh my gosh, that scared the poop out of me. Thank you so much, Lemmy. I appreciate it. Indecisiveness, that's called being a woman. Yeah, I guess all women are mentally ill. I'm trying to find autism in here. Sexual dysfunctions, disruptive impulse. It might be under impulse. Let's look at impulse. Or it might be under it's probably neurodevelopmental. It's either neurodevelopmental or intellectual disability. That's not the same as autism. Global development, communicate language disorder, speech disorder, childhood onset fluency disorder, social communication disorder. Come on. Oh, here we go. The big one. Here's what I have. Mimi, big boy. Here we go. This is the one. Here it is. The Holy Grail. ASD. Yep. Here she is. All right. I've had her with me for a while. A good friend of mine, I would say. I've had her since birth. And what about you? Let's read! Can we do PTSD after autism? We're either going to do PTSD, OCD, or we might have a little fun with the kink shaming with sexual dysfunctions, which is different from paraphilic. Thought that was menopause. Athena will literally inspect your brain with a magnifying glass. Yeah, this is literally me. I love this so much. I love this image so much. Look how cute this is. This is literally me. Oh. I'm not doing this stream. I have to probably state that I am not a professional diagnosis, or else I'll get in trouble. So I do not have the power to diagnose you, but I would like to help you. Maybe see if you have something, or you can learn at least a little something about psychology and people's brains. It's very interesting, isn't it? She's a beaut, isn't she? Yeah, the brain. Oh, I love the brain. Oh, sorry. I was spurging a lot earlier about how much I love Psych, but isn't the human brain just so fascinating? Oh, when God created the brain, I'm pretty sure, don't scientists only know, what 5% of our brain does or something? It's just
so amazing. Like, wow, one of the most important things, literally, I think the most important thing in our body besides our heart. And we don't even know what most of it does or why it does what it does. It's so fascinating. I love it so much. I just love learning about the brain. She's the beaut, isn't she? I don't think he meant the brain. Oh, he meant the girl with the magnifying glass. Okay. Yeah. Okay. ASD, my friend. She can recommend you consume some Jesus RX. Yeah, exactly. That's what I recommend. You guys got to take the Jesus pill. The only meds you guys should take are the Jesus pill. ASD. Diagnostic criteria. Remember, they took out Asperger's, unfortunately. So this is the most recent DSM-5. So we're going to be looking over this. Number A. Number A. Ooh, little woman moment there. Letter A. We have to have a persistent deficit in social communication and social interaction across multiple contexts as manifested by the following, currently or by history. Examples are illustrative, not exhaustive, see text. Athena, do you have a brain fetish? No, I just spurg about it because I really like learning about the human body, especially the brain. It's always fascinated me. They took out Asperger's. I'm not sure if they took out Asperger's because of the guy who invented Asperger's, the guy, well, quote unquote, invented, the guy that it's named after, or if they just wanted to lump it together as one thing. But I'm still calling myself an Aspie because I was diagnosed with Asperger's when I was younger, when it was in the DSM-5. All right. Number B, letter 2. 1. Deficits in social emotional reciprocity, ranging, for example, from abnormal social approach and failure of normal back and forth conversation to reduced sharing of interest, emotions, or affect to failure to initiate or respond to social interactions. Now, you guys might think that I'm very good at communicating. Trust me, a lot of meds, a lot of autism classes, a lot of work through the years. I used to be the spurgiest of spurgs, and IRL it's still pretty bad. But for some reason, when I talk to you guys, I'm mostly chill. But I think people can tell I'm a little kookiest Maximus over here. Imagine your mental disorder being discarded. Well, no, Asperger's is a type of autism, so I'm still mentally... We're still mentally ill, sorry, everybody. But we're based. Okay. Deficits in nonverbal I kind of have to be social when I stream. That's kind of like why I stream, to do better at that. So, but IRL, it's like... IRL, this is like me. Deficits in nonverbal communication behaviors used for social interactions, ranging, for example, from poorly integrated verbal and nonverbal communication to abnormalities in eye contact. I have never met a single person, a single autistic person that maintains eye contact with another person. I have, like, you know how some people say, like, they have gaydar? I have aspidar. I have autismdar. Like, I am very good at detecting if you have autism or not. Probably because I have autism. And one of the things is, if you look me in the eyes, like, if you're looking at me straight in my eyes, you probably don't have autism. This is literally the thing in all autistic people I've ever met in my life that we can't do. I can't do this either. It just really spoofs me. I have, like, this weird, DM me. Did you send me a DM? Send me a DM on Discord if you need me to help you with something. When I was in Catholic high school, before I was homeschooled, I had this counselor, okay? They called on, I was at, Athena, please report to the principal's office. So I go down there thinking I did something wrong. It's because I'm autistic, and apparently I am a disturbance to the other students, right? And then the lady, I think she did this on purpose. This counselor deserves to get fired. I hope she is. This disgusting woman, knowing I have autism, well,
I don't think they knew I had autism, but they said I was a disturbance because of my social stuff, or I was spurging or spazzing or something, or crying, something like that. She says, "Look me in my eyes! Look me in my eyes!" Like, I'm looking away from her because, well, first of all, I'm bad at socially interacting that way. I'm not looking at her. She's kind of scary. She's freaking me out. She goes, "Look me in my eyes like a normal girl would!" And I just started bawling. And it's like, I just remember, like, that, it's just such a bad memory, like. And still to this day, no, Carrie, that was in 5th grade. This was high school. I only threw chairs at people in 5th grade. That was like a only in 5th grade thing. That was a phase. But even to this day, my father is like, Athena, can you please look at me? I'm talking to you. And it's like, I'm like, Dad, you know I can't do that. And he's like, oh, yeah. You started bawling? No, bawling, crying. What happens if you in the middle, but you lean towards not staring in eyes? I don't know what that means. Sorry. I think a lot of VTubers are able to find that it helps with communication. Something about it seems useful that way. Yeah, I would definitely say if you have trouble communication, VTubing is definitely a good way to contact, to work on your social skills. Yeah, she was bad. But anyway, my dad is like that too. Yeah, welcome to the club. Don't worry. We're here for you. It's okay. You don't have to look me in the eye. I'm not going to force you. But yeah, all autistic people I've met, including myself, we don't do eye contact. Also, this is not in the DSM-5. However, I think it is a very interesting thing. All autistic people I've ever met in my life, if you're autistic, please comment what you think about this. We have all hated the color yellow. All autistic people I have met, including myself, have like a strong distaste towards the color yellow. I don't know what it is. I didn't take art. I don't know color theory. I only know color theory in regards to red, due to the political nature of it. Because like you'd wear red if you want to look like look like you own the place and you're authoritative and like you know what you're doing. But I don't know color theory for yellow, but it's like always yellow is such a yucky color. So if you're autistic or you think you're autistic and you like the color yellow, let me know. But all autistic people I've met, including myself, we don't like the color yellow. I hate yellow. I'm autistic and I like the color yellow. Not really. Yellow looks gross. Your weakness is the color yellow. Or are you Green Lantern? I don't know why, but I don't like yellow too. Didn't the black woman from I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream have a phobia of yellow? Yeah, but that was because she got raped. Raped by a guy in a yellow suit, Roland. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing. It's not funny, but it wasn't because she had autism, Roland. High saturation, you know what? That might be it. You're actually right, Yuki. It might upset our eyes because a lot of people with autism also have SPD, which is sensory processing disorder, and we don't like it when things irritate our eyes. You know what, Yuki? That's a great theory. It might be high saturation. I don't like it, but I don't dislike it, but I don't like it either, right? I like yellow. I only wear red. Is she gaslighting us into hating yellow? No, I'm just saying. Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss. Is gaslighting a mental disorder? I wonder if it's in the DSM. Maybe not. But anyway. Total lack of facial expressions and nonverbal communication. You know, this used to be something I really struggled with, but I've kind of been good at unironically having emotions now. No, whoa, no, Jose, what the heck? No, whoa, very bad. Unironically, is unironically my new tick? I've been saying that the whole dang stream. I rebuke that very much. High saturated colors that appear suddenly hurt my eyes. Really bad for a split second. Yellow or lime green a lot. Right. All right, but I used to really not communicate with my face, and people would be like. I remember I still don't smile with teeth. Like, I have a very Mona Lisa smile. Yeah, can somebody delete Jose's message, please? Mods. But, like, I still don't smile with my teeth. I just have never really, when I'm happy, I don't really smile. The most I'll do is a Mona Lisa smile, and I wonder if that's because I'm autistic or not. I mean, people say they like it. They say I have a very unique smile, but yeah, I've never really had that. So if you're autistic, do you guys have that? Your facial expression's kind of weird like that too? I don't smile with teeth, but that's for a different reason. Oh, it's because you're British, right? And you guys have bad teeth. Right. Just kidding. Kinda. Okay. All in good fun. Number 3. Deficits in developing, maintaining, and understanding relationships. Wow, does that hit home? That used to hit home. I bet that hits home for a lot of you. Especially in friendships, mostly. For example, from difficulties adjusting behavior to suit various social contexts, to difficulties in sharing imaginary play or making plays, to the absence of interest in peers. This really hit me when I was younger. Nobody would want to be my friend because I was such a spurg. I wouldn't understand any social things. I would be so weird. My mother actually talked to me one night and she was like, oh, it was so hard being friends with the other moms because nobody wanted to hang out with you. And she was like, poor Athena. And I was like, I'm sorry, Mommy. And she's like, no, it's okay. I'm here for you. But yeah, I suck at making friends. Yeah, I think a lot of people have trouble making friends, but it's a whole nother ballpark when you're autistic. I'll say that. I'm British and I'm only missing 12 teeth, okay? Yeah, average, the best British teeth. I'm learning now from my old high school peers. Yeah, I actually took a communications class for people with autism, and it helped a lot. I had difficulty smiling properly, but Mom told me to say cheese, and I say cheese even nowadays when I take a photo. That's so cute! What the heck? Nobody wanted to be my friend in high school. Yeah, me too. Me too. Join the club. It's okay. We're your friends now. I'm everybody's friend here now, so don't worry. If you guys had no friends when you were in high school or anything, you have friends now. Dear Gang is your friend, and I'm your friend. Yay! Do you have friends IRL now? No, I don't. Only have Mister. I don't go out. You guys are my friends. I don't have any IRL friends beside Mister. And even he wasn't IRL. He had to move here. I literally have no IRL friends. You guys are my friends. You guys are the only guys I talk to besides Mr. and my parents. 32 friends here. Dang, 32 people that's watching? That's a lot. Hey, if you're a lurker, hit that like button and subscribe and join the Discord. I know you're lurking. I don't know if somebody shilled me, but shout out to you for being here. Appreciate you. But yeah, I'm your friend now, guys. I'm your friend. FREN. I'm your friend. Cozy. Okay. B. Restrictive, repetitive patterns or behaviors, interests, or activities as manifested by at least the two of the following. Yeah, this is what autistic people we have a lot of. You could say special interest, safe foods, safe clothes, safe shows. And what we mean by that is we will, like, I would watch a movie like 100 times. I must have seen the Titanic over 100 times. And Mr. was like, how can you watch a movie more than once? I'm like, more than once? Like, I just love it. I know all the words. I know all the words to this movie. I love this movie so much. I love the repetitiveness. It's something I enjoy. But I never realized neurotypicals don't do that. I thought that was the thing everybody does. But, autistic people will watch stuff over and over and over and over. We'll eat the same things. We'll only eat like 2 things we really like, and most of it is chicken tendies and French fries. Chicken tendies, French fries. I used to always get that when I went out. Safe clothes. For me, it's which is safe food because we don't like trying new food. Because we want to, we want to stick to things we know and like. We don't like change. Autistic people don't like change. Safe clothes, which is I don't like shopping for new clothes. I wear my PJs almost every single day. I'm wearing my PJs now. So yeah. And hyper or special interest, meaning something you watch or you do or you enjoy like every single day. For me, it's D for DJ. I play that game every single day. I'm always hyper focused on that game. For you, it might be watching me, and I'm honored. But yeah. We love lurkers. So true. I watched Titanic before it was in theaters on a crappy bootleg copy. That's actually kind of cool. Wait, you're kidding me? People don't rewatch movies? I thought it was crazy too. He was like, "Oh, the most I'll do is like twice or 3 times." And my mom and my mother and father said the same thing, and it's just crazy to me because I'll watch the same thing over and over and over and over and over. I was obsessed with obscure topics like British stuff in heraldry in early high school. Yeah, I had a lot of special interests. The Titanic was my special interest. Like I said, I've seen that movie 100 times. I know like basically every single fact about I used to know every single fact about the Titanic. I probably forgot most of them. But that was like my hyper focus for a while. Long time. My special autistic people will say hyper focus or special interest for things they're obsessed with for a while. I've broken my food thing. I have a lot of things I like now and a better, more varied diet. I'm glad. No, Athy, you're wearing your maid outfit. Don't break immersion. The maid outfit is my PJs. This is my PJs. I wear my maid outfit 24/7. It's my PJs. These are my PJs. I don't know what you're talking about. Breaking immersion. Breaking immersion. My maid outfit is my PJs. Titanic isn't Kino. Hey, you're the one who likes feet, Carrie, okay? That's not Kino. Stereotyped or repetitive motor movements, use of objects or speech, simple motor stereotypes, lining up toys or flipping objects, echolalia or idiocentric phrases. So basically ticking. You know, it's kind of a meme, but like fidget spinners and stuff, like that's an actual thing autistic people do. You know, like we have fidgets. Or something called stimming. Well, stim, I remember we love to chew on stuff. I had these like special chewy autistic necklaces, like, and my mom had to get the extra hard biter one. It's like this thing where if you bite and you stim on it, like it still won't be destroyed. I got a little tear in it one time, I'm proud to admit, but like I bite hard. Like I bite super hard when I stim. So I forgot what it's called. It's like chewy jewelry or something. Look it up. And if you're autistic and you like bite on your pens a lot or something, or like you chew or like you have like an oral fixation stimming, you can get that. That really helped me. But people have, you know, it might be shaking your leg a lot. People do that. But, you know, I also have my slug. Where's my autistic slug? Where's my slug? Oh, Mr. Slug. Here we go. Here's my autistic slug. I got this for Christmas this year. Or was it my birthday? You hear him? This is my autistic fidget slug. So yeah, if you're if you're a fidgeter, that's one of the repetitive motor movements. This is my autism slug, I call him. Oh my gosh, Jack, you said you used to peel wallpaper. I have a confession to you for you guys. I haven't told you guys this, but my chair, I picked the leather off of my chair I'm sitting in, and it looks so horrendous. There's like almost no leather left anymore because I have a tick of I have a stim, a repetitive motor behavior of just picking the leather off. My chair has like no leather on it anymore because I pick it off. I'm sorry, it's because of my autism. At what what point is autism diagnosed? We're gonna read that, but it's different for for a lot of people. I used to read lots and lots of stuff about Star Wars on Wikipedia, even though I didn't watch a single movie. That's so cute. That's such a cute special interest. Should do an autism toy stream. I can't show it though, unfortunately. Hobo chair now. Athena picks things like a cat. You're like a puppy. No, I thought, do dogs and cats do that? They pick leather off? Invest in some real leather or go with cloth. Yeah, I need something I can keep like pulling, but like it comes back. I need to. It's not even a gamer chair. It's like a chair you would see at like a elementary school with no funding. Even now, I chew stuff, pens and especially pencils. I ran lots of pencils at school. Oh, I would love to chew pens, and all the girls, they would always stare at me for chewing my pens. They would say, "Yucky, I'm gonna get a disease." And I would bite my pen extra hard and then like put it up to their nose, and I'd be like, "Oh yes, you're gonna get my, you're gonna get my autism disease, you filthy woman." No, I don't want a pink gaming chair. I'm fine with my gaming chair. I don't have a gaming chair. I have an elementary school chair. I like it. Used to scrunch my face as a tick. Looked really weird. I used to say words as a tick. I think right now my tick word unironically is unironically. Like I've been saying unironically way too much. I've been saying that word way too much. Becky's Rise Up. I bullied Stacy's. I love biting glass. Marco, I think you should go check with the doctor with that one, bro. But anyway, instances on sameness. Yes, this is what I'm talking about with clothes, with movies, with food. We need it the same, or ritualized patterns of verbal or nonverbal behavior. Here we go. Highly restricted fixated interests that are abnormal in intensity or focus. Strong attention to or preoccupation with unusual objects, excessive, circumscribed, or pervasive interests. That's definitely me with the Titanic. Can the autism disease spread via live stream and make my autism worse? Well, you know, we do have computer viruses now, so I think the autism can go on the computer virus and it might infect you. But don't worry, it's okay. It just makes you more special. Athena, together we can spread Asperger's to the world. Yes! Yes! Dog chew toys, except they are pen/pencil and for people. I don't know what Warhammer 40 is. Should I play that? Autism is a mind virus. Autism computer virus. But yeah, change sucks. And if you're autistic, you'll know that. I don't really like new stuff. That's why I play mostly retro stuff. Hyper or hyporio activity, sensory input or usual interest. Yep, SPD. This is sensory processing disorder. Means we don't like bright lights. For instance, when I don't really like new clothes because they have like the the itchy. It's always itchy. I hate the itchy. Pain, temperature, specific sounds or textures. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You know what I hate? This is like the thing I hate the most. What is it? I literally think it's so bad I think I blocked it out of my mind. But it's this... Oh my gosh, it's this disgusting foam feeling. Oh, I can feel it on my finger now. It's like this soft, yucky. Oh my gosh, it is such a disgusting, yucky texture. I can't describe it. I don't know what it's called, and I don't know what it's called. But for me, that's the bad texture I hate. So, do you guys have something like that? I hate sandpaper too. I'm Unistream, but how would I know if I'm autistic? Okay. Here you go, my friends. We're going over this. Can you see it? You can take a screenshot. There we go. I think there is a texture I hate. I have a hunch about what we're talking about. Yeah, tell me what we're talking about. But for real, Titanic is a bad film. I think that's just because you're a boy, Carrie. Severity is based on social communication, impairments, and restrictive patterns of behavior. Yeah, high, low functioning, etc. C. Symptoms must be present in early developmental period, but may not become fully manifested until social demand exceeds limited capacities, or may be masked. Yeah, more women than men mask their autism because women are more social creatures. So that's why sometimes they don't get diagnosed as much. But I never mask. That's why I feel like I have more masculine DNA in me. I mean, I am a woman, but I feel like I have a lot of masculine DNA in me. I mean, I love girly stuff, but I always feel like I have masculine DNA. Because like, I've never masked and stuff. Like, I never masked. Like, I never did, like, the female autism stuff. Like, it's very weird. Hate the feeling of chalk, especially on a board. Oh my gosh, I hate that too. I hate that. You guys are so right. Yeah, Aspies unite. You know what I hate? The fork on a plate. You're just not a liar. I always had this disgust from, like, scratching my nails against paper or other specific surfaces. I can feel it even when I think about it. Yeah, same for me. Fork. There's a fork? Fork? Who's fork? Oh, fork on the plate. Right. I always knew Athena was a guy. No, I have girly chromosomes. I'm girly. I like pink and girly girl stuff, but I think I'm a very masculine girly girl. I like chalk. You probably ate chalk, Annabelle. Symptoms cause clinically significant impairment in social, occupational, or other important areas of current functioning. Mango on a fork. Oh yes, nails on paper. Nails on chalkboard is bad too. And E. These disturbances are not better explained by intellectual disability or global developmental delay. Intellectual disability and autism spectrum disorder frequently are comorbid. To make comorbid diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder and intellectual disability, social communication should be below that expected for general developmental level. Make Athena watch Hokuto no Ken, then we know how manly she is. Well, I like slice of life, so I don't like action stuff, but I still feel like my personality is manly for some reason. I don't know. I mean, I hate the feeling of textbook paper. It's hard for me to read my Bible or manga. Maybe you can read it online then, Batsy. Okay. Is hating mustard an autism thing? Well, I hate mustard, so maybe it is. The only condiment I like is ketchup. It's the only condiment I like. What about you guys? Recording procedures. For autism spectrum disorder that is associated with a known medical or genetic condition or environmental factor, or with another neurodevelopmental, mental, or behavioral disorder, record autism spectrum disorder associated with. Name a condition, disorder, or factor. Example, autism spectrum disorder associated with Rett syndrome. Severity should be recorded as level of support. Okay, blah, 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 blah. We don't need to read that. Specifiers. Let's zoom out. What autism level are we? Level 3, level 2, or level 1? Hate mustard. I'm autistic. I love mustard. Yucky. Prefer honey mustard. I like ketchup. Not a strong mustard. I don't like mustard at all. I like ketchup. I will have, the only condiment I will have is ketchup. Okay, guys. Let's find out what level of autism are we. Okay. Level 1 autism, level 2 autism, or ding ding ding, level 3 autism. Are you level 1 autism requiring support? Level 2 autism requiring substantial support, or level 3 autism requiring very substantial support? I shall mix ketchup and mayonnaise into pink goop. That is so yuck. Can we not? Can we not? That is so yucky. Also, can you guys let me know if you're liking the psychology stream? It's kind of more learning together and less about teaching. Athena, what do you diagnose the scrunkly with? Is the scrunkly that weird cat thing? You, Smithy, and you always talk about the scrunkly. Let me look up the scrunkly again. Scrunkly. It's just this, like, autistic-looking cat. It's just this autistic-looking cat and raccoon. I don't like them. They probably have autism. The black cat with the weird paw. Oh, that's Jinx. I like that cat. That's a funny-looking cat. Is it just me, or do you get that weird feeling in your foot that's an impossible to itch spot? I don't get that. You can always shake your foot, though. Sometimes I get that in my ears, and I hate it, though. Can animals have autism? I mean, there's definitely some special needs animals. It's been good. I find it interesting, fascinating stream. I like it a lot. Marcus said it was yucky stream. Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm glad you guys are. But most of you guys are liking it. Maybe Marcus was just joking because Marcus comes every single stream. So, okay, requiring support. Without supports in place, deficits in social communication cause noticeable impairments. Difficulty initiating social interactions, and clear examples of atypical or unsuccessful responses to social overtones of others may appear to have decreased interest in social interactions. For example, a person who is able to speak in full sentences and engages in communication but who to and fro's conversations with others fail, and whose attempts to make friends are odd and typically unsuccessful. That's us in social communication. And now let's see restricted repetitive behaviors. Inflexibility of behavior causes significant interference with functioning in one or more contexts. Difficulty switching between activities. Problems of organization and planning hamper independence. The psychology stream has taught me there are many other people with similar quirks as myself, and it's terrifying. Can't wait for more. Maybe we should just read the whole dang book another time. This might be the last one for the night because it's almost 8 p.m. But yeah, I really like. I'm really glad you guys are enjoying and learning a lot of information because really, I love learning about psychology and helping others and talking about mental illness and how to help and learning about it and what causes it and what it even is. And it's just so fascinating. The human mind is so fascinating. It's really cool. Robot voice forever. That was just my fast teacher reading voice. Trainees? What's a trainee? I don't know what you're talking about. D below, I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, we're with you, Jimmy John. Okay, so let's see if I'm level 1 or level 2. Ow! Oh, you couldn't say the word. I see. Autism can lead to loneliness, and training out tends to give you artificial I see what you meant. I apologize. Level 2. Social communication status. Marked deficits in verbal and nonverbal social communication skills. Social impairments apparent even with supports in place. Limited initiation of social interactions and reduced or abnormal responses to social overtones from other. For example, a person who speaks simple sentences whose interaction is limited to narrow special interest and has markedly odd nonverbal communications. Whew. See, I'm trying my best to read it without, like, messing up. I have some difficulty reading sometimes. I think I've been doing a good job, though. But with restrictive repetitive behaviors, it says, inflexibility of behavior, difficulty coping with change, or other restrictive repetitive behaviors appear frequently enough to be obvious to the casual observer, interfere with functionality in a variety of contexts, distress or difficulty, changing focus or action. I I think I'm level 2. Definitely with the restrictive repetitive behaviors. But I'm not judging you no matter your level. Yeah, I beat Doom. I just beat Doom 2. I played Doom and I played Doom 2. Great game. My throat kind of hurts. I've been talking a lot. Okay, Wacky, my friend. I'm actually going to get my phone now if it's something very serious. I'll be right back. Okay, Wacky just wants us to pray for his friends. We will, friend. Don't worry. Oh, okay. Oh, hold on. A lot of people wanted to join the Discord. Okay, I verified them. Let's go! And level 3 autism. It sounds so funny saying level 3 autism. Level 3 autism requiring very substantial support. Severe deficits in verbal and nonverbal communication skills cause severe impairments in functioning, very limited initiation of social interactions, and minimal response to social overtures from others. For example, a person with few words of intelligible speech who rarely initiates interaction. When they do, makes unusual approaches to meet needs and only responds to very direct social approaches. Restrictive repetitive behaviors. Inflexibility or behavior extreme, difficulty coping with change, or other restrictive repeatedly behaviors markedly interfere with functioning in all spheres. Great distress, difficulty changing focus or attention. Okay. You may be level 2. Yeah, I think I'm level 2 too. Level 2 too. But okay, we don't need to worry about this. Yeah, it's a spectrum, blah, blah, blah. Hand flapping. Yeah, I hand flap. I hand flap when I get excited. Do you guys do that? I hand flap. It's like a cute little autistic thing. You flap your hands when you get excited. Let's actually see. Prevalence. What's your Discord username, Easy Fleazy? Maybe you were accidentally banned. Let me know. DS Agent, a little lurker, I see. What? I flap too? Yeah, I flap. I'm in backrooms level 9 right now. Does that count? I pretend I'm holding a level 999 Frostmourne sword and swing it when no one is home. I flap my hands when I get super excited. It says reported frequencies for autism in the United States and non-U.S. countries have approached 1% of the population. I actually thought it was more. 1% of the population, with similar estimates in child and adult samples. It remains unclear whether higher rates reflect an expansion of the diagnostic criteria of DSM-4 to include sub-threshold cases, increased awareness, differences in study methodology, or true increase in the frequency of autism spectrum disorder. Very interesting. I'm going to read the development and course because somebody said, when can it develop? So we're going to read this for you real quick. Oh, Miss Athena needs to zoomy in a little bit more. There you go, class. Zoom, zoomy, zoomer going zoomy. It's 1%, but maybe in some areas the percentage is more. Yeah, maybe, I'm not going to say none. But maybe something's... I'm not going to say anything. The Asian pattern of onset also should be noted for ASD. Symptoms are typically recognized during the second year of life, 12 to 24 months of age, but may be seen earlier than 12 months if developmental delays are severe, or noted later than 24 months. I think my parents knew something was weird with me when I was like 3. but they never knew what it was, and then like it was autism. So it can be, I mean, you're born with autism, so you can start seeing things that early though. Athena, can you look at the hair pulling disorder? My grandma has that. She always, this is kind of yucky, but I'll say it. My grandma always picks her chin hair. My grandma always picks her chin hair. I think I told you guys like a week ago she wanted me to pick her chin hair for her, and I said, "Yeah, no thanks. No thanks, grandma. No thanks, grandma." Hey, Shiny. Athena, whatever you do, do not look up coldest place in the universe and go to images. Well, I'm gonna do this. This better not be like that butt worm thing. Coldest place in the universe. Images. That's so stupid. That's so stupid. I can't believe that made me laugh. I can't believe that made me laugh. It looks like the Among Us guy. I can't believe that made me laugh. I can't believe it's crazy that so many things look like the Among Us guy. Like, it has to be a CIA thing. Like, there's no way that many things look like Among Us. Like, it has, like, I don't know. Something's up with Among Us. It's sus. Pardon the pun. I did read that some people with autism have a bit of a high hearing sensitivity. Yeah, we have SPD. Most of us have SPD, which is sensory processing disorder. I think all of us, like 99% at least. Pattern of onset descriptions might include information about early development delays or any losses of social or language skills. In cases where skills have been lost, parents or caregivers may have a history of gradual or relatively rapid deterioration in social behaviors or learning skills. Typically, this would occur between 12 and 24 months of age and is distinguished from the rare instances of developmental regression occurring after at least 2 years of normal development, previously described as childhood disintegrative disorder. Hi, Dine. How are you doing today? We're almost done. We're going to just finish reading up on autism. The behavioral features of autism spectrum disorder first became evident in early childhood, with some cases presenting a lack of interest in social interaction in the first year of life. So I hope whoever asked that question, I hope this answer is it. I'm doing great. My throat hurts because I've been reading a ton, but it's really fun talking to you on reading about things I like, things I'm interested in, and I hope it has been useful and helpful to you guys too. I hate loud noises. Yes, me too. Me too. Some autistic people actually have these noise canceling headphones. It's not music or anything. They just wear them and it like cancels sound, but I don't have those. Experience developmental plateau or regression with a gradual delay of rapid deterioration in social behaviors or use of language, often during the first 2 years of life. Such losses are rare in other disorders and may be a useful red flag. What? Okay. I like that they put it in parentheses. Don't worry, Prentice, we're going to go soon anyway. I can't read without noise-canceling headphones. Aw, well, I'm glad that those help you, my friend. Yuki with the Among Us emoji. I have to sleep with a white noise machine on. You know what? Wait, why are you sad, Marco? You know what? I used to listen to music every night. I used to have to listen to classical music. But now I have to watch TV. Like, I have to have something on the TV to make me go to sleep. It has to be something cozy. When your autism is so bad, you need gadgets like chewy jewelry and special headphones. I mean, that's pretty normal for any autistic person. I mean, I have Asperger's, and I had earplugs for stuff, and I had chewy jewelry, so I don't think it's bad. There's no such thing as bad autism. Autism is great. I mean, it can be hard to deal with, but I wouldn't be I wouldn't be me if I didn't have autism. You know what I mean? So I'm blessed that I have it. I could never do homework. And I always told to just block out the random sounds of the house. Never could. Did you have what's the word? Headphones? autism is great, thinking face. Well, I mean, in of it itself, it's not great, but I think it's great for me because I've learned a lot from it, and it's made me the person I am. I think for the better. So I'm glad that it, trust me, I've had lots of meltdowns, lots of crying, lots of everything because of it too. But it makes me who I am. Autism is our superpowers, bros. Exactly. Never tried using headphones. Out of school now anyways. Okay. Much more unusual and warranting more extensive medical investigation or also, if you're autistic, you also may have seizures. I had a seizure one time, but it's not epileptic. Honestly, true, Vanilla. Unironically, I think that's true. Hey, let's be careful with that word. Susan might take down this stream, my friends. Or skills beyond social communication, loss of self-care, toileting, motor skills, or those occurring after second birthday. Just one seizure. Remember what set it off? School stress. Probably. They don't really know what happened, but yeah. Can we delete? Can mods? I don't even know if my mods do the stuff I asked them to, but can you please delete things with that word in it, please? First symptoms of ASD frequently involve delayed language development, lack of social interest or social interactions, odd play patterns, unusual communication patterns. Deafness may be suspected but is typically ruled out. During the second... This is kind of long. I think we all kind of know what goes on with autism. Now this is actually interesting. I want to read the risk and prognostic factors. Oh, hi, Gabrielle. How are you? I have a nervous breakdown every month. Well, I know you said you're pagan, Vanilla, but I really think if you found Jesus, you wouldn't be having those and you would feel a lot better. Jesus loves you, and with him there is peace, and I want you to know that. And even if you don't believe in him, he loves you, and you're our friend, and you don't have to have anything to be nervous about, because God is here for you. Best established prognostic factors from individual outcome with ASD are presence or absence of associated intellectual disability and language impairment, and additional mental health problems. Epilepsy. See, oh, maybe it was epilepsy. But see, I told you that seizures are associated with it. Is associated with greater intellectual disability and low verbal ability. Not gonna lie, you may be right. Environmental, variety of non-specific risk factors such as advanced parental age, that might have been it, low birth weight, or fetal exposure to valproate. I don't know what that is. Let's look that up. Valproate. Medications used to treat epilepsy and bipolar disorder and prevent migraine headaches. It's really been used. That is unironically caused autism. Fetal exposure to that. If a medicine might cause autism, who's to say a bunch of other medicines from a young age don't also cause autism? Some people say certain things don't cause autism, but they might. And this is coming from somebody who has autism. Who knows? Very interesting. Your show helped me with my OCD when I prayed for it a decade ago. I'm so glad, friend. When I went to an Orthodox church, I went really well. Yeah, Orthodox is very chill. Genetic and physiological heritability estimates for autism spectrum disorder have ranged from 37 to higher than 90%. Dang, bro. Nobody in my family had autism, so I really don't know what did it. Well, nothing that was diagnosed to them. So if I have a baby, 37% to 90% chance it's going to have autism. Dang. As many as 15% of cases of autism spectrum disorder appear to be associated with a known genetic mutation. What? I did not even know this. Nobody told me this. With different de novo copy number variants or de novo mutations in specific genes associated with the disorder in different families. I wonder how you would know if you have that. However, even when an autism spectrum disorder is associated with a known genetic mutation, it does not appear to be fully penetrant. Very interesting. Risk for the remainder of cases appears to be polygenic. I don't know what that means. Which perhaps hundreds of genetic loci making relatively small contributions. Very interesting. Well, yeah, it says parental age. I heard about it being something related to gut bacteria. Yeah, your gut bacteria is very weird if you're autistic. Like, I have... like, my gut bacteria is weird, and I have GERD and stuff. A lot of autistic people also have IBS, which I will or will not disclose if I have. My mom was mid-20s, so not always. Thank you, Mark and Marku and Roland and Annabelle. Thank you, guys. Gesundheit. Oh, gosh, one of my, oh my gosh, nothing against you, but when I was in high school before I was homeschooled, oh my gosh, he was like in his mid-20s, this hipster blibtard English teacher I had. He had the glasses and the hipster hairdo and everything. He was like he was like an intellectual, right? Every time a girl sneezed in the class, he would go, Gesundheit, just trying to be an intellectual. It really grinded my gears. Nothing against you, though, Carrie. I had the same English teacher. Yeah, what's it with English teacher and saying that? I get IBS when I get stressed out once for like 3 years. Not fun. Make things fatter, though. Huh? Well, don't worry. We're here for you. Nothing interesting. Here we go. Autism is diagnosed 4 times more often in males than in females. In clinic samples, females tend to be more likely to show accompanying intellectual disability. What does that mean? Suggesting that girls without accompanying intellectual impairments or language delays may go unrecognized. Oh, I see. So, girls with autism have a higher chance of having an intellectual disability alongside their autism, which is very interesting. This might just be talking about regular autism, but I have Asperger's, which is like smart autism. No, people with autism are smart, but you know what I mean. May go unrecognized, perhaps because of subtler manifestation of social and communication difficulties. Yeah, they didn't say, they didn't do the word masking in here, though. It's kind of interesting, but my throat really hurts. Comorbid. Frequently paired with intellectual impairment disorders. Many individuals with autism have psychiatric symptoms that do not form as part of the diagnostic criteria for the disorder. 70% of individuals with autism spectrum disorder have one comorbid mental disorder. Yeah, wow. And 40% have 2 or more. Ding, 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 that's me. 40%. When criteria for both ADHD and autism spectrum disorder are met, both diagnoses should be given. This same principle applies to... Okay, blah, blah, blah. Welp. That's the end of autism. I just had, you know, those memes where like they say something and then it's like the doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, and then it says something like it's like that's the end of autism, and then it would be like a question mark. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. But I think that's it for the time being. Had on my list cover types of medication, but just know that there's antidepressants, there's SSRIs, SNRIs, anti-anxiety medicine, stimulants, antipsychotics, mood stabilizers. Yeah. You said your throat hurt yesterday too. Maybe you need to take a short vacation to rest your voice, or you could damage your voice box. I mean, I like streaming though. I kind of have to do it. This is my job, and I enjoy being with you guys, but my throat really does hurt talking for 4 hours straight. Like, I have not been quiet for more than 30 seconds this whole entire stream. So it really does kind of hurt your voice. I think I've said like a million words or something. So it kind of does. Gaming disorder? Hold on, we'll check. We'll check real quick. It would be under addictions. Substance related and addictive. I'm checking for you, my friend. Alcohol. Yeah, don't drink alcohol. Caffeine disorder. Don't have that. Do not drink coffee at all. Yo, what? Well, I guess anything can be a disorder. I just thought it was funny that weed disorder is in here. Cannabis. Drugs. Let's look at if gaming is in here. I know gambling is in here, so it's gambling. So gaming might be in here. But yeah, feet is a disorder. Yeah. Thank you for reminding me, Carrie. Inhalant. Don't do inhalants, guys. Don't do drugs. Drugs are very bad for you. Don't do opioids. Don't do any drugs. The only drug you need to do is getting high on life, my friend. Loving the Lord, my friend. Stimulants, dang. Alright. We gonna find it soon. One day, we gonna find it one way. Dang, smoking too. Everything can be a disorder. Everything can be an addiction if you know what I mean. But let's see if gaming. Oh, here we go. Non-substance related disorders. Okay, gambling disorder. Something my grandma might have, but not in regards to money, but she always be thinking about the casino. Gaming. This page left intention. Wait, is that it? Gaming's really not in here? Again, so I guess whoever told you gaming was in here was wrong, or they probably thought of gambling instead of gaming. I legit struggle with action figure buying. You have a problem with spending then. I have a compulsive spending habit with books. Yeah, why? I don't know what it's called, but like spending money disorder or something. Especially spending money on stuff you don't use. Hoarding? No. But I wonder what it's called. I'm very good with my money. I save a lot of my money. I struggle with buying books. It just doesn't make sense to me because, like, you guys can read them. Like, it's good getting a physical copy, but you can read them at the library. You can get books at the library for, like, $1, and then you guys are spending, like, $60 on a book or something. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of ways to save money with stuff. You know what? I just want to go to this real quick. I want to see something. I want to look at the, how many people have it. if that's here. Prevalence. Let's see the prevalence of something so shoved in our faces. 0.005 to 0.004 and 0.002 to 0.003. That is so funny. That is so interesting. Isn't it interesting how corporations don't have things for Autism Month, but they have... I'm not going to say anything. Sorry. Oh, gonna get in trouble. Oh, Athena get in trouble. Oh, Athena get in trouble. Oh, Athena get canceled again. Oh, no. Ruh-roh. Sorry, that shouldn't have made me laugh. What the Whoa. Okay. Sorry. It's kind of inappropriate. I thought it was gonna be kind of funny, but this is a Christian stream. Why is that in the mental illness book? What? Why were those in the mental illness book? I thought that was just a physical health problem. Why is it in the mental illness book? It's in the mental illness book. I'm not gonna say anything. That was pretty funny though. Oh my goodness gracious. I think we went over those. Yeah, feet. Yeah. And then it talks about psychiatry, meds to get. See what else we have in here. Schizophrenia, neurodevelopmental, bipolar, OCD, eating disorders, very interesting. Sleep disorders. What the heck is an elimination disorder? I've never... Oh, thank you so much, Tex. I appreciate that. I've never heard of an elimination disorder in all my psychology history. Involve the inappropriate elimination of urine or feces and are usually first diagnosed in childhood or adolescence. I did not know this was a thing. I thought this was a medical issue. I did not know that this was a mental issue. Whoa. Okay, this is a lot to take in. Should not be laughed. I should not think this is funny. This is a very serious this is a very serious mental illness. You know, it is actually kind of sad because I know a lot of autistic children, a lot of lower functioning autistic children. Sorry, I guess the PC term is level 3 autism now. A sign of you're autistic sometimes is autistic children will smear fecal matter on the wall. Don't ask me why. I don't know, but that's a thing. So I find that very interesting that they have stuff like that has their own disorder. Let's actually see. 5 to 10% of 5-year-olds, 1% among individuals 15 years or older. Very interesting. Super interesting. And is this the poo one? Yeah, this is the poo one. The poo one is only 1 to 5% more common in males. Very interesting. I know this is probably funny to you guys, but I don't know why. Why is it so interesting to me? Why is learning about poop disorders interesting to me? I don't know. And is this sleepwalking? Insomnia? Carrie said his brother sleepwalks. Very interesting if sleepwalking is a mental disorder. Narcolepsy is very interesting. Narcolepsy is something very interesting. So when you just like go to sleep and then like wake up and then go to sleep, like just randomly. So it's just such an interesting disease. Such a mental illness. So interesting. Psychology is so cool. Breathing related sleep diseases? No. Cluster B. Let's get to the cluster C, baby. Give me that cluster C. Give me that cluster C, baby. Parasomnias. Oh, yeah, I learned about this. Here we go, sleepwalking. Okay, sleepwalking in of itself is not a mental illness. However, it can be NRE, movement, sleep, arousal disorder. What's up, Arga? Have a legitimate autistic nephew I've been working with. He couldn't speak or learn language until recently. It took a lot of effort, but he has improved so much and turns out to be a bright kid. You know what? Oh, that is so wonderful, and God has truly blessed you guys, and I'm so happy that was okay. Yeah, I don't... Sleepwalking is always fascinating me. I have no idea how it even works. Like, that's crazy. Like, what in your brain just makes you walk when you're asleep? Oh, this is what I have. I actually have this. I actually have this. I've been having chronic nightmares for like the past 10 years, and I hate it so much. It might be because of my meds, unironically. This is like, oh, I hate it so much. Let me read this real quick to see if I have this. Yeah. This sucks. I have this. Only 1 to 4% of children, preschool kids have this, and I have this. I'm 21 years old. Adults is 1 to 2%. Okay. Risk. Yeah, this is so interesting. Look, adult females have more nightmares than adult males. Why? Why do women have more nightmares than men? Why? Adult females tending to report themes of sexual harassment or loved ones disappearing, dying, where males tend to report themes of physical aggression or war or terror. This is so true. This is crazy. This is crazy. So interesting. And then there's different diet orders for it. Punishment for Eve's actions. Hey, meanie pants. Our punishment was childbirth being painful. Your punishment is you have to work the rest of your days. I'm pretty sure that's what it said. What's up, Christian? Honestly, I think really that's all we should do for the night. It's 8:10. We've been streaming for like 3 hours. I'm tired and my throat aches. So I think we should go. So I wanted to say, my brother once went into my room and went downstairs in the living room. I don't think that's possible without being conscious. I don't know. The brain is very fascinating, Carrie. You'd be surprised. The killer that keeps killing my GF in my dream is invulnerable. Oh no. My dreams are usually pretty disturbing and disgusting. Makes me not want to sleep most nights. So true, Schizo. I wake up like every 4 hours. I wake up and then I have to try going back to bed, because of my disorder, and I don't know how to fix it. I don't want to take more meds for it. Maybe CBD will help. I don't know. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys learned at least something about psychology or abnormal psychology. Specifically mental disorders. Maybe you learned something about yourself or just something about other people. So please let me know if you enjoyed this. You know what? Thank you so much, Vanilla. That's such a sweet thing that says that it really relaxed you. Well, I'm glad that it relaxed you. Good stream. You're all nuts. You learned that we're all nuts. Yeah, I'm Kookiest Maximus. No problem, Tex. No problem, Roland. Why is Marku... did I do something to upset Marku? He keeps doing the sad face. Did I do something wrong? Maybe I accidentally said he had autism or something. I don't know. But you guys are great. Everything's gonna be fine. The Lord is here for you. I'm here for you. Get better, Athy. What did I... Wait, what? Am I sick? Oh, my throat. Probably my throat. Thank you so much, Shiny. And I'm very glad that you guys... No, it's just an emote I love. Oh, okay. I was waiting for a second. Good. Nice to hear other people's experiences. So thank you all for being here. I hope you learned something. Let me know if you want more tutoring streams. I very much enjoyed this. And Professor Athena is not going to assign you all homework this evening. You have been very good boys and girl. Maybe if there's a girl watching. But you guys have all been very good. And I appreciate you. And thank you for joining my class today. And you guys get cookies. And Jesus loves you. I hope you have a great night. Let's pray. In Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord, thank you so much for helping me have a successful stream. Thank you so much for, even if we struggle with mental illness, Lord, that you're here for us and you help us. Lord, please help us grow closer to you. Forgive us our sins, voluntary and involuntary. And we rebuke any and all demons by the blood of your Son, Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, trying to harm us. We love you, O Lord. Amen. In Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen. Thank you, Carrie, doing the gay emoji. No, Carrie, I don't think it's just a joke anymore. Oh, sweet vanilla. No homework, yes. Thank you, Matthew, Skenso, Roland, Sean, Orange. Orange! Stream's pretty fun. You should do it again. Yeah, I want to do English. I wanted to tutor you guys in English, but it didn't even win the poll. The English only got 2 votes. English only got two votes, and Psych got 11, so I was like, you know, usually I don't favor democracy, but I was like, you know what, popular vote wins this time. I'll do English and Spanish another time, so I hope you all learned something and you had a nice day. Thank you, everybody. Jesus loves you. Bye-bye. Yeah. Unironically.